and get them?
No, you pay people to come cut them out.
Do you?
Because they call it hurricane haircuts.
Oh, really?
So they come and take all the coconuts out and trim all the low leaves. And I mean, really, you can strip a coconut tree bare and they'll grow right back. So
you've lost some weight. You look good.
Thank you.
It's a haircut. Is it hair is much shorter than
hair's a little shorter.
Do you have any videotape of when you were on?
No, you know, at my 50th birthday party, my wife tried to get, they didn't videotape in those days.
They kinescoped it.
No, they had no record of it. They didn't, it was so long
You
ago.
mean they kept no record?
They kept no record.
There were kinescopes, they're called.
Hey, we're up on
And that was filming. They would film a monitor.
Well, my wife tried to get it for my 50th birthday.
No.
And then later, those films were put on.
If they took the time.
Videotape.
Yeah.
But the original, like Milton Berle and all that,
Yeah.
were filmed. They filmed a monitor.
Wow.
Like,
That's
so
so
they had a
fucked up.
monitor
Yeah.
set up with a curtain.
Why didn't they
And
use
they
it
would film the whole thing on, and so they called it kinescope or cinescope. And then once that was done, then later on they converted that.
Everybody got headphones?
So why didn't they film the show, Tom?
What's that?
Those
Why,
okay,
wasn't it
John?
easy just to stick a camera and film it live?
Haven't put them on.
Wouldn't-
No, because they would get the camera changes they did on a show.
Not that I can tell. Only the small ones.
It would be redundant. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to do that. They wanted to get every camera change and everything that the guy did.
Oh, okay. I had a great call yesterday from AARP. I'm having a call today about a woman
I'm
with
dumbfounded. My
farm
paralegal told me this
who
morning
was
that her
she said the
sister,
will
honestly, they're all a
in the
bunch of
guy's will.
anti-vaxxers.
and was
Honestly,
looking at it
last
for
night
30
I was like,
years.
you have
State
got to
Farm
check
wouldn't
yourself
accept the
with
will to give
You
him
got what?
one part
Check yourself
life
with the
insurance
mask.
policy.
Why?
Well, because
They say there's
it was very confusing, so I said, you need to tell that attorney. So it'll be a great call.
I'm like, if you don't go get
You
your
know,
damn glue and get a magnet
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
and stick it to your arm on video or something and show them you know, what an opportunity.
Let's make a wage.
There are goddamn stupid people in this world beyond even my wildest imagination.
That's
What is?
very true.
I agree.
People that think people that have been vaccinated are so laden with heavy metals that a magnet will stick to their arm.
That woman who
I'm
came
not
on,
shitting you. People actually believe that shit.
There's so, I mean,
because it
people,
was a doctor that came on and said that.
there's so much,
That's exactly.
She should have her license taken
What was
away.
there's so much bullshit with it.
Wasn't
My-
she former
My
CDC or
paralegal's
something?
family
She was
used to be 100% on board with
high
something
up,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
You've got to get.
I thought it was a
magnet
guy,
and
it was
test
a girl.
yourself. And I'm like, you didn't talk to that shit. I'm like, I would go get a magnet and glue it to my arm
You should.
and take a picture of that.
That's it. Look at this. Or you should put glue on that and have someone throw a magnet at it.
Or do something cool where you walk by, metal starts sticking by.
A yard dog comes flying at you or something.
Look out.
When the vaccine first came out,
We could do
it was,
that.
You know, like Tom's, and I went on the air 2 or 3 times to explain briefly how the vaccine works. That you can't get the disease from the vaccine and how safe it is. And you see people.
But that's why they made you wait 15 minutes to get the people turned on and activated.
Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints. Here to help you is John Fuller. He's our personal injury expert. If you have any questions on that, we'll talk about that as well. And we have all kinds of calls waiting to go. I'm going to get right to the phones. Welcome. Kathy, hi, I'm Tom Martino. And what is going on with a flood, I'm told? Is that what's happening with you?
Yes.
What's going on? Tell us the story.
So, first of all, the tenants above flooded us when their washer broke, and then we had outflow valve that was stuck in the opposition. And then with this last storm, due to the gutters being clogged, somebody pulled off the downspout, and it flooded 2 of our bedrooms. And
now, are you purchasing, or is this are you renting?
I'm renting.
Okay, and are you on the bottom floor, I assume?
Yes, sir.
And you flooded for what reason? Because someone did something to the downspout?
They pulled it off, and it backed up and went down our foundation and flooded out 2 rooms. Our landlords did nothing for water remediation.
Now,
We
is
had
this
our
an
own-
apartment complex or is it a home?
It is an apartment townhouse complex.
Okay, so who messed with the downspout?
We're assuming kids or the water actually pushed it off because it was not anchored down.
Do you feel, in other words, are you saying it's the management companies or it's the landlord's responsibility?
Yes, because the gutters have not been cleaned out forever.
Do you have renter's insurance?
I do.
Okay, that's going to cover you, you know.
You think that would cover water coming in from
it
the
won't.
outside?
Actually, it won't cover flood. You're right.
I'm not sure it does.
Flood is excluded most of the time in most every policy, so let me amend that. Kathy?
Didn't she say some water also came from above you from the other apartment?
Yes.
That would be covered. Water intrusion from within a structure is covered. As soon as water hits the ground or a flat surface and flows into a building, it is considered flood. If it hits your siding and drips down into your windows, it's covered. If it hits the deck and flows in, it's not covered. If it hits the ground and flows in, it's not covered. Have you looked into your renter's insurance?
Yes, I have.
And what did they say?
They will only cover for loss of property. Here's the other deal.
Well, hold on. That's really good that they're going to do that. When you say loss of property, you mean everything destroyed by the water they will cover?
Yes.
Well, that's great because along with the landlord's policy, the floors and the walls and everything that's covered
I mean,
there
you
should
don't
be
own the
covered.
place. What more do you want than property coverage?
Well, we had our own environmental air guy come out. We have 2 different kinds of mold, and the mold level is so high in this townhouse condo complex that our guy says it is so high that it is probably leached into every single one of the units because we are at over 400 times now.
Kathy, let me ask what you mean by this. Now, the property is going to be covered. What do you want? Because I'm not getting a clear picture. I get there was a flood. You have renter's insurance. That's very smart. And now you have high mold content. What do you want? What were you calling about?
I would like them to clean up the mold that is in our apartment.
That's a reasonable request if you have mold.
You can't make them do it. Why don't you move somewhere else?
Yeah. Here's the deal, Kathy. Mold is one of these things that not everyone will come to an agreement on. It's not like, let's put it this way, sewage. Or it's not like no electricity or no security or some other habitability standard. When you say the mold spores are high and pose a health risk, somebody else will say they're not and it's not toxic. Now, Kathy, you can, however, probably end your lease if you can show there's high mold and they won't do anything about it. Did you actually pay for this report?
Yes, we did.
Do you have a report and it shows that the mold spore count airborne is higher than the recommended allowable by EPA?
Yes, and our apartment is uninhabitable because of this mold. It is at dangerous level.
Now, was this an environmental scientist or was it just somebody trying to sell you something?
No, sir. We went through a company that is recommended that does move brand new houses, hotels, apartments. They work with the federal
What's the name of the company?
Rex.
REX?
Yes.
Okay. But I'm not saying one way or the other. So Rex tells you the apartment is uninhabitable. What do they say needs to be done?
The drywall has to be all taken out. They have to take HEPA vacuums. They have to get some Freon fans. They have to sanitize, wipe down everything. They have to take...
Now, when you say they have to, do they happen to do this work?
Here's the thing: the landlord has to.
I'm asking you, Kathy, does the company Rex also do the remediation?
No, the landlord has to do it.
I understand the landlord's not going to do it personally. They would have to hire someone. What I am asking you is, does Rex perform that remediation service?
No, they actually recommend that they find somebody that will do that.
Okay, so they are not... See, I'm trying to get an angle here. I'm trying to figure out, is this Rex company trying to drum up business, or are they truly independent? Could you give us the name of an expert at Rex that we can talk to for you? Kathy, if you have an environmental mold issue, and it's serious, and it's dangerous, there are steps you can take against the landlord. There really are. 303-713-TALK. Now, of course, John Fuller is our auto accident expert, our motor vehicle accident expert, motorcycles, big rigs. And I know we go sometimes off the topic when he's here, but John, have you ever had people come to you with environmental damages? As far as getting sick from mold or from other contaminants.
Or food.
Have you ever handled that?
Well, we get calls from time to time about people that feel like they've been exposed to mold or, not so much food and stuff, but it does happen.
Yeah, but isn't it so difficult because you have to have some medical evidence, right?
And that's the problem. It's not too far removed from like asbestosis and stuff. You've got the challenges. It's like anything else, Tom. In my business, the challenge is proof. And so you can have mold in your home, but establishing a connection between the existence of that mold and whatever you're claiming to have happening because of it, connecting the dots on those two is sometimes really, really difficult.
Okay, we're going to check this out. Suze, I'd like to get the name of her environmental expert from Rex. I would like to now call them and get their comment. That would be good.
Hey, Tom, were there two separate incidents? She said that it was flooded from the people upstairs. What happened after that? Did the landlord come in and fix it or renter's insurance, and then it got flooded again?
I don't know what it matters, though.
Well, I'm just curious to see if the landlord was responsible enough after the first incident to take care of the damage.
Kathy, this happened twice. Water infiltration happened twice, right?
Yes, sir.
Two separate events. How far apart were the events?
Within 3 months.
Okay. Did they fix the first one before the second one came?
What happened is all they did is what they had to do with the upstairs upstairs condo is they replaced all the drywall. They had to do some work on the floors. Yet they did nothing about the water coming down into our walls and stuff. We have asbestos in our apartment as well.
I got it. So they did, and to make a long after the first incident.
No, they did not.
All right, hold on. We're going to get a hold of Rex and see what they have to say. I'm Tom Martino.
More coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Now you think this is a good one, going into Paragon. On a side note, I don't know why they're doing 60s.
Who?
Paragon. They're up next. It's a good transition.
They're not. Are you sure there's 60s at Paragon? This sounds wrong, Shannon.
So why didn't her renter's insurance cover the first event?
Well, no, they're covering her. They're just not doing remediation. They don't do mold remediation. Because it's somebody else's apartment.
There's a break time washer
from above. Right.
Hold on, guys.
I'm going to do yours first because it's a transition mark. Mark, do both of them.
John, these phones on silent.
Do both.
Some people just forget.
Who's the other?
Paragon and get down
Like this.
Phone's always on silent.
I got it.
John, honest to God.
All right, check it out. I love this story, and the story ends up with me getting a check for $70,000. Yes, I said it, $70,000. If you have any problems with your homeowner's company or your commercial insurance policy, you know, these adjusters come out, they never adjust up. They always adjust down. So if you ever have any issue, let's say there's hail damage on your house. They say there isn't any. That's what happened to me. My homeowners came out and said, Mark, there's no hail damage here, and I'm looking at my neighbors getting new roofs. Guess what? I called Matt at Paragon Services. He got involved. $70,000. That's what he got me. $70,000. He can do it for you. He works the entire Front Range. It's a great company. Once again, they're public adjusters. The insurance companies have people that are going to fight you tooth and nail. You need someone on your side, and that's Matt. Write this number down. He does full losses, too, like all those fires that we had up in Granby. He did 2 or 3 of those cases. Got way more than they would have got without getting Paragon involved. He can even open up cases that are 2 years old. He can reopen them and get you the money you deserve. 719-726-0020. You can always find them on referrallist.com, but give them a call if you have any questions. 719-726-0020. Now, speaking of great companies, one Tom and I use all the time is for referrallist.com is Get Found Fast. These guys are great. If you have a website right now, a corporate or company website, and you want a free analysis, 100% free, they're going to tell you how many people visit it. They're going to tell you what your keywords are. They're going to tell you what your competition's doing. You need to reach out to these guys for the free analysis. GetFoundFast.com. Go there right now. Get it set up. GetFoundFast.com.
The sharpest Tanglewood wants to keep you safe and worry-free during these times.
Now I got to email Susan because that's fucking 30. I can't change it because it throws off our network. God, I just don't understand it. I have no idea when that's at 60. I couldn't even like.
Is it on the line?
Shannon says it is.
Then what you do is take a picture of it and send it to my door.
Hey, Shannon, would you send me a picture of that on the log where it says 60?
And then you send it to Mike Doyle, and they take care of
Funny,
everything.
I grew up in New York.
I've been getting them corrected one at a
I've been
time.
here since '83. I still sound like I'm from Brooklyn. I can't, and you sound like you're from the South. I think once you grow up with that accent, you never lose it.
Mine is way
Because
less.
it's cool.
Did that,
I think
did
mine
somebody
is too,
way
but
less
you
than
still.
that? Did somebody get back to you for that? I just don't care anymore. I used to, I really tried to get rid of, I mean, it was pretty bad when I first got here,
But you know what I'm saying. What am I, how the fuck am I supposed to do?
Look at our back.
I don't even want to. That was so funny. You know, all this stuff the day before, they're requesting everything,
really are
right?
amazing.
Oh.
They're about hell young.
Oh, I know. I just go out and buy them by the 10-pound bags. Now I'm single. I go through the 10 pounds. I just put them on heirloom tomatoes, a slice of heirloom tomatoes, a slice of Vidalia onion, a little bit of
I heard some TV cook or something like that say, we've got some Vidalia onions today. And I'm like, what the hell did you just say? I'm like, Vidalia?
You ever have any of those, Tom? Vidalia onions?
Yes, they're delicious. You can almost freaking eat them.
I do. I was telling John, I put them on.
Did we go to break about right 10:15?
A slice of heirloom tomato and a slice of Vidalia onion with a little balsamic vinegar. Great side dish. Taste,
You gotta go a little sharper on the eye. Vidalia.
Oh, Vidalia.
No soft.
No soft. Okay, Vidalia. Thank you.
Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not
Yeah, Tom, I've got a
It's America's best.
75% tear in my right shoulder, and I'm fixing to go do the Chris Centeno stem cell deal.
Did he think he could help?
Yeah, but I've just been, working.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, now we're going to get the report from Rex Environmental, and then we're going to call them to see if one of them can come on and answer questions. Yes, Susan?
I spoke to Eric at Rex Environmental. He wasn't comfortable coming on the air, but said Kathy had the report that would give us all the information. She's emailing it, then I'll call her back.
You know, I got a question. Do you think renter's insurance, if it is inhabitable, would they pay for her to live somewhere else while they're cleaning it? I don't know if it goes that far.
If it's uninhabitable, I think it depends on your policy. Some policies have displacement coverage. Others do not.
I don't know if renters, though, have.
No, renters do. I knew a guy one time, the apartment place burned down, or something happened.
And he was covered.
And he was covered for temporary housing. But I think it depends on the policy. It's all contractual.
And do you think the report we're going to see from her is going to be as described by her? Just curious.
Yeah, because I think mold companies and environmental companies exaggerate. I mean, listen, when I say exaggerate, I don't think mold's a happy thing. I don't think it's a good thing. But I think that people go too crazy about it. I really do. Elaine, what's happening? What's going on with you, Elaine?
My husband and I moved to Bluffton, South Carolina on the end of May. Anyway, we contacted a moving company called Roadrunners, and they picked up our stuff on the 19th. And we haven't seen it since. It's still in Denver, stuck in a warehouse somewhere. And now they won't give us the address.
What was your pickup date?
May 19th.
May 19th. Roadrunners picked up your stuff May 19th. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And did you have a full contract?
I have a contract. I don't know what a full contract
Well,
means,
what I mean is, was it a guaranteed price? What was it? An estimate? Did you know exactly what it was going to cost? Did they say they had to weigh the truck? Tell me about your contract.
I'm going to jump in because I've looked at all of her stuff this morning.
Her contract?
Her everything. She does have a full contract. Can they increase the price a little? Yes, but that's not the issue. Let me put it together.
Go ahead, sum it up.
So her and her daughter, who's grown and lives, by themselves, are moving. So 2 separate households, 2 separate contracts. They went over, they picked everything up for Elaine. Follow me so far?
2 households, got it.
Yep, so they picked everything up for Elaine. They were supposed to pick up the daughter's stuff the next day. They didn't show up. They say it was because of COVID or whatever, and they didn't show up the day after that. Daughter says forget about it and cancels it, hires a different mover, and gets it handled herself. The daughter wants the deposit back, but if you read the contract, the bad news is it says, hey, the date we're going to pick up, that can change. That's not going to affect the deposit. It looks pretty airtight. But Elaine's problem is serious because they're saying now that they don't have 2 different households going there, that they're not going to move her stuff according to contract. So they're telling her...
But wait, they had 2 separate contracts.
Totally separate.
But they're saying that they're tied together, and if one doesn't move, the other one doesn't get moved.
That's right. But they can't do that, although they are doing it. Here's the real crust of it, though. So it's a $10,000 or $11,000 move. Elaine's paid $6,000, okay?
Well, when you say $11,000 for both?
For total. No, just Elaine's contract.
Okay.
10 or 11, somewhere there. So she's already paid roughly $6,000. They're saying, you know what? We'll tell you where it is in Aurora. You're going to have to figure out how to get it to South Carolina, but we're keeping the $6,000. Elaine, did I miss anything there?
No, it looks like to me they won't release the address now. They redid a release that they want us to sign and saying that now they want the rest of the money in order to tell us where the address is.
Hold on a second.
I just want you to understand one thing. This is not some deal out of Florida like most of them. This is a company that is open right here in Colorado, down, I think, in Inglewood or Aurora somewhere.
But do they have anything in their contract that would bind both of those together?
No.
So by contract, even if the daughter wanted to surrender her deposit or walk away...
Which she did, and she did surrender her deposit according to her contract.
Then these guys have no basis.
No, so now they're threatening. Weren't they threatening you? She also sent me a phone call I listened to right before you came in this morning. And basically, he is collaborating everything in that phone call that she's saying. I mean, he really is, but he's saying, well, we're going to go out of business at the end of the month anyhow, so it doesn't matter. If you want your stuff, you need to sign that you received it. They sent her a thing to sign, and if you sign that, we'll tell you where the stuff is, but you're going to have to find someone to get there. Listen, they're jackasses. They're complete rip-offs. I have not called them yet because I got Deputy Smarty Marty is going to head out there and make sure what I see on Google as far as their building is true and it exists and they're there.
So, Elaine, it sounds like the wheels are in motion, but I don't know how contractually Roadrunner can, is it Roadrunners or Roadrunner?
Roadrunner Storage. Here's what I'd like. Suzanne, if you would give them a call, let's try to get them to come on air and explain that if they will come on.
I don't know how they can say to you, Elaine, they tell you we're not moving you because your daughter canceled her contract?
Well, at first they did, yes, and they even sent me an email saying that. And
then what? You say at first. Then what?
Well, and now they're saying, well, we're not talking about your daughter. We're talking about you, is what he's saying now in that last phone call.
Well, what do you mean about you? Why will they not move you? What reason are they giving?
Well, they said they can't find anyone now. They said that they can't get any assistance. They've checked and they can't find anybody.
I don't think they have their own out-of-state stuff. I think they were going to hire someone to move this stuff, and when they were hiring their subcontractor that can go across straight lines, I have a feeling what they did is they were kind of doing both of them into one move.
So, Elaine, let me get it straight, though. They're not refusing to move you now because of your daughter. They're refusing to move you because they say they can't get the help.
Well, the guy acknowledges that they had said that, so I'm confused. I don't know whether he's telling the truth or not.
We have to find out why Roadrunners is not moving you, but this is something I need to know. Does Roadrunner expect to be paid the full contract price by you for keeping it in their warehouse?
No, and I'm sorry, Elaine, I keep interrupting.
Why?
Because I listened to this conversation. They're saying we're going to keep the $6,000 that you've already paid us, and we're going to waive the rest of the $4,000 plus change. But in that conversation, Elaine, did they say they'd give you an additional $1,000 or something?
It's not fair. They're saying picking up from her house and putting it in storage is worth $6,000.
Yeah, 10 miles away or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but it's not her fault they had to do that.
No, of course not.
God, this company sounds bad.
He's saying, well, we have spent all but about $700 or $800 of that $6,000.
Well, it's too bad they did that. It's not your fault they did that. I mean, they should move you for the price they agreed to.
Right. But they're not going to do it. I don't know why.
Suzanne's going to reach out to that Mike.
How did you find Roadrunners?
My son-in-law did some research on it back in January.
What research?
He found that they had I don't know how he did the research. He got a hold of this sales rep named Ray Adams. They'd been in contact, and Ray Adams is the person that we called that promised us this, and this, and then now he doesn't answer phone calls or won't respond or anything.
All right, listen. This is just...
You know, the only
disgusting.
good news is their reviews aren't bad, and this isn't some aggregate service we're trying to deal with out of Florida. So it's better than our typical moving call. But these guys, I don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. There's
then they should be willing to talk to us because it sounds like they're just in breach of contract. That's what it sounds like.
And they want her to sign something saying everything was delivered. I mean, it's crazy. Worst scenario, we're gonna kind of lead her through a small claims action, but we got to get her stuff back.
Elaine, how much are you moving?
They filled up a full, I think it was a 26-foot van, and then they came back and got like maybe about a fourth more of it.
I got a call into Mark Johnson over at, the Teddy Bear
Johnson
people.
Moving and Storage.
And I'm seeing how much he charged. It's going to be about half of a full trailer. I want to see what that would cost to see exactly how upside down she is.
Right. But Roadrunners people, I mean, I don't care what the reviews say. It sounds to me like a straight-out breach of contract unless there's something we're not hearing.
Oh, it's a straight-out bend over.
They're claiming, hey, we picked up your stuff. We brought it here tough. We can't move you now. And if that's the truth, Roadrunners people, beware of Roadrunners. And again, I don't care what reviews say because reviews can be goosed and faked. The radio show can never be faked. So as far as I'm concerned, Roadrunners has an F if they are breaching this contract.
It's bad, man. I've looked at all our documents. Everything's right.
An MRI of your shoulder. I have to accept is this what hurts the most when you move your hand or shoulders backwards? Because I have a partial tear also. And the most painful thing is just pushing back. I can't do that. Is that what hurts you also?
I don't have a lot of pain just sitting here. I went through a phase of that, but I've kind of, so my supraspinatus, my infraspinatus, where those two come together and where the insertion point is a 75% there. Okay. And so, I mean, and it's pretty clear on the MRI. Even I can look at it and go, yeah, that's a problem. So that's about 12 millimeters across.
And that can be repaired.
9 of it is torn.
Okay.
But there's no retraction, and so they feel that the stem cells have the best opportunity, since they're going to be there and there's no attempt to re-stretch it out, that it can actually fill in that gap.
Can't find them.
That's great,
guys. Yeah.
They're on there.
A little bit of other crap, and I've
They're
got
actually.
I got a spot coming up.
My what's the big cushion?
You should never search for an attorney when you are under pressure. Listen, if you are accused of a crime, any crime, you really need the services of Joe Lazzara. We did the shopping for you. Joe is a criminal defense attorney, someone we know, flat rate pricing on everything. Free consultations always. 303-429-6200. You can also find Joe on our referral list at referrallist.com. Countertops come in all shapes and sizes and all materials. And if you go to the Art of Granite, you can get any material you want at wholesale. He charges for the fabrication and installation. And then he'll even tear out an hallway free and do the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. So you need a price, you get a price on the phone. That's how proud he is of his value. That's the Art of Granite, the Front Range and Full Mountain Community Service. Open 6 days a week, a beautiful showroom in Golden. If you ever want to visit, call first, 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com.
I see Jeannie Wagner. Jeannie Wagner's the owner.
No, that's the registered agent, Dan.
Okay.
Unless you're looking at something else.
No retraction. It's really good. No atrophy.
Dan, first of all, you'll learn that.
You could be wrong many times.
Yeah, that should. Stem cells are a great alternative for that.
Why go? I don't want to do surgery. I just not know, but don't know. You know.
So how long are they saying if everything's as successful as it can be?
Well, I should have back almost full use. I mean, everything is an average, but in about 3 weeks, within about 6 months, the final effects of that will have taken place.
Have they fixed things similar?
Yeah, they have an almost 90% documented success rate in several thousand patients.
Not only that, but there's no downside.
Right.
The only downside is it doesn't work.
There's about 10,000 downsides.
Well, what's the downside of getting the?
Well, what we're saying is insurance doesn't cover it.
Right. There's no downside to me. I would gladly pay that to not have to go through that surgery.
Right.
And like I said, I've just been trying to get my shoulders and stuff as strong as I possibly can before that, so that if I have a period of downtime and I'm not doing anything, I'm not,
Right, the muscles won't atrophy too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm saying, what's the downside of the stem cells? Other than
Cost.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the worst that can happen is it doesn't work.
Right. There's no downside. It's my stem cells to begin with.
Right.
They take them out of your hip.
Yeah.
And re-inject them in the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
You should get like John Elway's stem cells.
That's an idea. I hadn't thought of that before.
Okay.
I'll tell them Mark said.
Right, then you have a rejection phenomenon in your whole shoulder.
Did they say they could try PRP first?
They are doing some PRP and some prolotherapy before. It's a 3-day procedure. The first day is what's called prolotherapy, which is basically sugar water, which inflames and really pisses off the joint.
Right, and gets the
what does that do?
It gets fibroblast cells in there to heal.
Right, and then they come back in on the second day with the stem cells, and then the third day they do PRP on.
Now, why would they do it in that, why wouldn't they do PRP then stem cells? See if the PRP handles it.
Because the stem cells
PRP
are placed in the
They
site.
don't think the PRP is going to repair a tear.
The PRP doesn't repair it.
The PRP is going to speed up healing.
But the PRP will make it a much friendlier environment 2 or 3 days later, and saying, hey guys, you're in a happy place. They're also going to do some PRP shots along my spine as well, because the problem that I was having was everything else was compensating for my shoulder not.
Yeah, but
you know,
I'm sure they don't have a physical location.
What are they charging?
Did you find the picture with the two old trucks on their
It's right at the
address?
94, 9600, something like that. So I'm excited to get it done. I'm excited that it's at least there's no retraction.
2,478
and I have, you know, that high of a percentage.
So you're not supposed to work that out, right, while it's torn, obviously.
Well, actually, they have their own physical therapists. They do want you to get active on it pretty quick.
Afterwards.
Yeah. I don't think they want you working out hard, but, you know, getting it moving and getting back to, you know, square one. So
what's crazy is that insurance would cover your surgery, but they won't cover this, which is a much less invasive procedure,
but
and
this
also
is like
much less.
This is like serious stem cells, you know. I mean, they're getting a lot better acceptance in the community. This isn't like amniotic fluid.
Right? No, I know. It's real stem
cells bouncing around. So,
but you know what it would cost you to have your shoulder surgery?
well, it cost me about the same in out of pockets and all that stuff. It'd be $35,000.
Yeah,
out the door.
Right.
Yeah.
It's right there. It sure enough says it, man. Mark Major Live 60. I just, I'm befuddled.
But I don't have any pain really in my
But
shoulder.
the oil's been fixing the shit.
Every time. There are things that I do that make it not happy.
I'm on board with that.
But I don't really suffer. I mean, I've got some AC joint arthritis as well. They're going to hit that while they're in there. That may or may not have any benefit there. That probably bothers me more than what's going on in your shoulder.
really?
Right now. So.
How much was the evaluation?
Couple $100.
Isn't that paid for by your insurance, all right?
That is, actually, yeah. The eval is.
The only
It's
thing
just
that's not covered
It's just an ultrasound evaluation. It's no different than like an ortho appointment.
But then, do they need an MRI?
I had an MRI that I took in there. I don't think they do. They do most on.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors is there when you need them. 24/7 for emergency service. They also have wonderful garage doors if you need new doors, new openers, whatever you need with a garage door. I've been using One Clear Choice Garage Doors for more than 10 years. You can get a hold of them. It's oneclearchoicedoors.com online. One Clear Choice Doors. And all of their prices are disclosed online. Any garage door need, don't take chances. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Melinda, what's happening with you, Melinda? Welcome to the show. By the way, we have John Fuller with us, and I have a few inquiries for him off air. If you want to call about any personal injury, accident, or question, you can call at any time, 303-713-TALK, or any consumer problem. Melinda, what's going on?
Yes, I had gone on Section 8, go section8.com and DHA, Denver Housing Authority web pages, because I live in a coalition buildings. I've been with them for 8 years, and they're very dangerous. And I have a prosthetic leg, and my boyfriend's 60, and he's he's got health problems. And so we're trying to move out of here because we have terrible neighbors upstairs, and also as well. And so I've been looking for a place. I found a place on that Go Section 8, and a gentleman at 2755 West Archer Place in Denver had said that he was a landlord and asked how much I had for the deposit, because there was a lot of people looking for the land.
What was the guy's name? What was the guy's name?
His name is Waller, Waller, Maria S.
Did you give him any money?
Wait. Waller Maria
S. And his son
That must
has
be a middle initial,
property on DHA and
So was this a man you were talking to or a woman? Do you know?
It was a man. I asked him. It was all text, and I asked him to send me a picture of himself. He said he was at the hospital with his daughter having a baby.
Yeah, it's all a scam. It's a scam. We've heard it before. All text. So how did he get a hold of you? Did you call a number?
I had been going on the Go Section 8, and I had responded to one of the properties.
On Go Section 8?
Yeah.
How did you respond?
I responded to the landlord through the Go Section 8
Was it by email?
There's like a little button that you press that says landlord to get a hold of the landlord.
Okay, all right. Go Section 8 is not an official, I don't think it's an official thing at all. So this guy was laying in wait for you, and then you asked for information. Did you send the guy any money?
I did.
How much?
$300. I tried to send him more, but I wasn't able to.
What do you mean you tried to send him more?
Well, he kept on wanting more. Like he said, $50 each for the application fee, and he said to send that to him.
I understand, but why couldn't you send it? I don't understand it. You said you tried to send more.
Well, I tried. Okay, I sent him the $300 on Zelle and to my bank account, but then when I tried to send more to Zelle on my boyfriend's account, it wouldn't let me. And that's never been a problem before. And then he told me to go get a vanilla card. And so I wasn't with my boyfriend at the time. And so he wasn't able to scratch out the numbers. So he never got the numbers.
Good.
I was able to register the card when I got home.
Well, you lost $300, Mary.
I lost $300.
I mean, not Mary, Melinda. Melinda, you lost $300. I mean, do you have a phone number for this guy we can call?
I do. Hold on. Let me put you on speaker. Hold on.
Hold on. Get me off. Hold on. Suze, get this number of this guy. I want to call him. Will he answer the call?
No, text only.
I don't know. He only answered one time.
Well, let's see if he'll answer.
Yeah, let me see.
So wait a minute. After you sent him the $300, have you heard from him again?
No. Well, I did hear from him the other day when I called to see if he was going to meet me at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. And he answered the phone and he said, well, you didn't send me the money, blah, 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 so I'm not going to meet you at the property. And hung up on me.
All right, hold on. Suze, try to get this guy's name. You need I don't know who owns this website, but we got to let people know about that property. And the property was at 2755 West Archer. That's too bad. Let's get that phone number, Suze, and figure out what's going on.
I don't think it's a property. I think he just picked that.
I know. No, I understand that. But we got to warn people.
Yeah.
I mean, he has his fucking phone number down for that property. Right. So it is that property. I mean, if you go to that property, his phone number's there.
Right.
Now, impact traffic. This report
Here it is.
by American Best Contact and Eyeglasses.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, if you are headed out to the airport, give yourself some extra time. Only one lane is open on inbound.
I'll bet you they're all scams.
Tower Road.
I'll go into, yeah.
It was shut down at one point, actually for quite a while. One lane.
What a good website to grab, huh?
Go Section 8? Absolutely.
Total scam. I wonder where you do go to see open section, people that take Section 8 vouchers that have open residence.
It may be Section8.gov or something like that.
I don't know. A lot of times a landlord will take like maybe 4 Section 8 vouchers.
Exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
In certain states,
got it.
Provided by independent optometrists or ophthalmologists. See store for details.
The best solar deal in the business is coming from Genesis Solar, CO, Genesis.com, the same company that brings you Genesis Exteriors for all of your home improvement needs, by the way, and now into solar. This solar company guarantees all components 25 years, and they give you a 25-year performance guarantee, which means if you don't make the targeted savings at the end of a year, if it doesn't produce what they promised by contract, they settle up and write you a check at the end of every year. And that's a 25-year performance guarantee. You get to keep the tax credits. You're buying it. It's not a lease. No hassle when you sell your home. GenesisSolarCO.com. If you're wondering what your house is truly worth, Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. I've known Frank for many, many years. And he doesn't just drive by and say, oh, yeah, I think it's worth this. He stops and visits and measures and researches and checks it out, takes pictures, and really puts some thought into it based on his 26 years of experience in selling. And then he tells you what he believes it will go for on the open market based on his experience. Way better than that Zillow, way better than even an appraisal, because houses are going for more than appraisal. No obligation to list. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
Are you curious when you should take Social Security?
Do we try calling Roadrunner?
Visit my website now.
Call it who, sir?
Yeah, Sue's left a message.
How about that G9 Wagner?
No, Sue's
Did you call Roadrunner?
Both of them? Okay. Here she is, 60.
Roadrunner, what did they say? Last message.
Dan, try their regular number. I gave them a number that Elaine actually talked to the owner manager on. Try their normal number. Get them on air, man.
Did you get that number for this rip-off landlord? Can you put it up there? Okay. Okay, I'll do it for effect.
So if you Google Section 8 Denver, you get a whole list of places that are from the Denver Housing Authority.
So,
they don't got a number.
I was in California, you know.
Yeah, they do.
I was in California and I got this so-called CBD patch. Put it on my back, my lower back.
Nothing.
I don't know. So I had lunch and I'm starting to feel high.
Oh, man, you got the good stuff.
And I said, what the fuck is this? And I rip it off. Because I don't want that. I hate that marijuana THC high. And I look at the package, and it says she got it from a dispensary.
So they actually do patches for THC then, huh?
It says CBD with THC, but it's not the THC. It's not like real CBD that the stuff I use. That has trace amounts. This had like
good stuff.
Yeah.
This guy got fucked up.
No, not totally, but it probably would have, because I just had it on for 15 minutes and tore it off.
But at least it said with THC.
When I didn't even read it because it said CBD patch.
Right.
Then on the back it says contains this much THC.
Right.
Sounds like a likely story to me. How about you, Jim?
Yeah, that'll work. Tell the judge.
Now you sound like our buddy that's a pilot. I didn't know it had any THC.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you see it, Clarence Thomas thinks that marijuana is going to be out. It should be taken up. No, there are categories of drugs. There are 3 drugs that are category 1. LSD, heroin, and marijuana. Cocaine is category 2. So the government thinks that cocaine is less dangerous than marijuana is. Now, isn't that insane?
That what is?
So there are different categories of drugs.
Yeah, I know that.
So there are 3 category 1s. Marijuana, LSD, and heroin. Cocaine and other substances like that are category 2.
Got it.
So the government thinks marijuana is more dangerous.
Because they're hallucinative, that's why, right?
Hallucinogenic.
But marijuana is not hallucinogenic.
No, it's not. You smoke it.
Right. It's not. No,
you don't think so?
Never.
No.
You'll never fucking. I mean, you smoke enough, you go to sleep.
Exactly.
It's a harmless high, but I hate it.
Well, if it wasn't for acid, we wouldn't have Jimi Hendrix.
It's the most
Beatles.
useless high in the world, marijuana.
I never enjoyed it.
I don't know how people function on it. I get all confused.
Well, they don't. I mean, the purpose of doing it would be not to function,
No,
right?
people do it every.
I
There are
just
people that
fall-
do it and then go to
I
work.
fall asleep.
Well, okay.
And I never tried
there's
marijuana.
always-
You know, it's so ubiquitous. It's so easy to get that I wish it really worked. I mean, without, I really do as far as the. Hi, Tom Martino here, realcbdthatworks.com. Don't forget, you can get 30% off with Tom in the promo code. It's Panacea Life Sciences, by the way. I'm golden. You can order the stuff here. realcbdthatworks.com. 30% off with Tom in the promo code. It's really good stuff, and it works. And I urge you to try it. Now, we are trying to get a hold of this rental scam person. The number is right here. And I'm going to see if I can call this guy. He ripped this person off, and he seems to be preying on people looking for cheap rent. He took the money. She never heard from him. But she has, she knows what a Zelle account is, except I think they closed it down. Let's see. This might... Let's see if he answers. I don't know. How do you do a scan if you don't answer? But he only texts.
That's the sure sign of a scam, people, if you can't even talk to someone. Remember we had that one guy? See? Oh, it even went. So, yeah. Melinda, I hate telling you that, Melinda.
Oh, that money's gone.
Melinda, I hate telling you, but you fell for a scam, and you're going to keep falling for them if you don't. I mean, there are all kinds of rental scams going on. What made you think this was real?
Because it was on Go Section 8, and my housing specialist had, they had said go on Go Section 8.
Wait. Your housing specialist told you to go to that website?
Yeah, the coalition's saying go on Go Section 8. Endeavor Housing Authority, and
Who owns this?
But they're not. The Coalition for the Homeless is what the buildings I've been living in for 8 years.
But I don't know if they own this. GoSection8.com. I don't know. Let's find out. Are you looking at who owns it, Mark?
I'm sure it's anonymous. I'll look at it. But is it GoSection8.com, right?
Yes, that's what it is. GoSection8.com. We're going to try to figure out who the owner is. This is a scam. I'm not saying the whole site is, but it could likely be a scam. And
I know, and it scares me for other people because I don't want them to have to, because it's low income, and that was like a lot of my money that I had to get another place.
All you have to do to list your property is go on there and do it. There's nothing.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And all they do is sell listings.
Yeah, he was saying the guy Waller.
Well, it says our partnerships with over 500 city and state government agencies makes Go Section 8 the largest resource of affordable and moderately priced rentals in America. So they're claiming to have a partnership. Did you go back to your person and say this place had a ripoff?
Yeah, they told me to be careful and not give a deposit until I, see the place and all this jazz.
I would say the website's valid, but there's a bad guy on there, if not a lot.
Well, sure, because they don't check you out.
Well, the website
Yeah, it's him and his brother, his brother, he says, too. And I checked, and I saw if you type in the real estate address, his brother's got one. He's also got one in Grand Prairie, Texas, on 1059 Condor Drive on that Section 8, that guy Waller. And then his son has some, his name is Adam Ortiz.
Tom, if you look up the
ownership
registration of that website, it's a company called Perfect Privacy LLC out of Florida.
Yep, scam.
Yep.
It's a scam. I don't know, Melinda. I'm so sorry. It sounds like you lost the money. Mary, what's going on with you, Mary? How can we help you?
Oh, yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
I've lived in Colorado 35 years, 36. I'm from New York, quickly. But anyway,
Where in New York, Mary? Hold on. Where in New York?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay, I can hear a little bit of it. What's going on with you?
Hey, welcome to the show from another Brooklynite.
Go ahead.
Right. So I'm a little tough, but not tough enough.
What happened?
Well, I have the ownership of the condo.
Yeah.
An old mill. And now we've gone through a couple of management companies, and now there's a new one came on about 2.5, 3 years ago, and they've done a few things, and we have a new board and all, and they've gone to reconstruction of repairs, which is wonderful. But I have a repair that needs to be done on the platform for my entrance, and they repaired it once, but it buckled up, so they put a membrane.
So are they not attending to you? Is that it in a nutshell?
No, it's 4 years. It's 4 years.
All right, hold on, and I'll come back, Mary. Hold on. We'll figure it out together. Maybe put a phone call in, get someone to work with you to light a little fire. Hold on, Mary. You're next on the Troubleshooter Show.
Tom, you want me to send a text on my phone to this number to see if he calls back?
Sure. What is this? What is this type? Mayor space pro space temp. Mayor pro temp.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that mean?
That means temporary, right?
Okay. I thought.
Or like mayor-elect or mayor going out the doors. It's sometimes, I'll look it up.
I got a hold of Janine at Roadrunner. She says they weren't holding anybody's stuff, so I'm having Elaine call her.
It means for the time being, for now.
Right. So he's
until they fill a position, really.
Yeah. Interim. That's a nice dude. That's temporarily. Is that an Essex?
Yes. Oh, you know those? How do you know those?
Know what?
I was showing them my microwave.
On our free iHeartRadio app, #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
When you go get it?
Your barn big enough for that?
Oh yeah. When I built it for as big as I can get.
It's 45 foot, right? That's
yes. It's as long as you can get them.
Variants, especially the Delta variant, now
600 horse.
cases in areas where vaccination rates are low.
independent front suspension.
I think my friend's London Air is at 48.
Those are beautiful, man. I love London Airs. That's so it goes London Air, then Essex, and then they have about 10 more.
Yeah.
So I can't quite everything I look at to build out gets. You can build the Essex out like the London Air. The frame, everything's the same.
It looks very similar to them size.
Yeah. So you can get the London Air furniture in the Essex, but ironically, it brings the price of the Essex up to the King Air. Oh no, I'm sorry. Essex is above the London. I'm thinking of the King Air. It goes King Air, Essex, and then London Air. But even in the London Air, you can get the King Air furniture if you want, or the Essex furniture.
Yeah, I don't know what they have. I just know it's a pretty nice unit. They stole the shit out of that unit. They found it up in like Ocala, Florida or something, as they were going through, and it had like 8,000 miles on it or something.
Getting shocked how many are like that.
What they fucking stole it, like 4.5.
In the evening, he temporarily ran the temperature, says the Vatican.
I keep telling him I'll give him 50 grand for it, you know.
Microbiological examination.
I think if he hears it enough times, he'll come around.
I left money on the table with mine. I did really good on it for using it we used it 2.5 years. Bought it brand new, but I lost probably a little under 20 grand on it, like 17. I know, but I left money on the fucking table. I could have got another 8, no problem. No problem. I might have had to wait longer. It's hard because people got to go out and get fucking loans and shit on this, you know. It's like trying to sell a fucking house.
That's what's going to turn the market around on that shit. The loans are going to dry up and interest goes up. People's HELOCs are going to get tightened up and stuff. Dude, we were up the lake up in Wyoming where we have a place up there over the weekend. And we get the fuck off the lake about 10 o'clock in the morning because that's when the onslaught of all the wreck boats show up and stuff. I cannot tell you the number of people driving $100,000 one-ton Ford diesels, pulling a $225,000 wakeboard boat, and you know there ain't one penny of equity in either one of those things combined. You know?
So my neighbor's $375,000 now. You know, he's got money, but his daughter is actually a professional wakeboarder. Whatever that is, she's got endorsements on that shit. I had no idea those fucking boats are that much. I look at it, it looks like a boat. He goes, no, but what it does is underneath it makes the waves.
It's got ballast and it's got boards and shit.
She wears a watch, and while she's doing her shit, she can adjust the waves and shit.
Wow, it's amazing.
I had no idea.
It's badass. I mean, but those boats were like $90,000 10 years ago. They're 2.5, 3. You know.
And most people are upside down and shit.
Oh shit!
I told Kurt yesterday, you know,
completely upside down.
We had this
on everything they fucking own. So that's the whole point. It's like 100,000 plus 3 equals, you know, that
plus the second on your
camper
house.
trailer sitting up in the place up there for another 1.5. So you've got $500,000 to $600,000 that you're making monthly strokes on, and with your $80,000 a year job.
Yeah.
You know, that shit is going to come crashing down like nobody's business.
It has to. What else is he going to do?
That's what I told
Unless if Biden just says, fuck it, we'll print more money, debts are over.
Yeah.
No more debt.
Cancel all boat loans. That's the only fair thing to do.
I told Kurt Rogers
Just boat loans. And only people in RVs. And if you make over 200, you have to pay your boat loan.
There you go.
I'll be interested. You know, they're giving out 3% mortgages now. And I think
Janine is 64 years old. She's like the owner.
You're sure she's the owner?
No, they are.
Well, she's a registered agent. I asked her if she's the owner.
They're already starting to really go back to adjustable rates.
Are we done with that Melinda girl with the rental scam?
Right. I would say yes.
Oh, she had another issue. Shoot. Let's see if I can.
You can't put down 3%
Melinda
on a $500,000 home
has another
when you're making
issue.
$80,000 a year.
They're counting on it going up by 10% in the next 2 years, another 10%, and then you'll be into equity. But shit, it could drop 10% in about 10 minutes. You know.
Blistering summertime heat and drought is tough.
And you're right, people buying
Something to
boats
do
and
with the
cars
coalition, whatever that is. The renting
Coalition for the homeless.
Oh, so okay. She's having an issue with them.
Do not ever finance a fucking boat. You know.
Yeah.
That's just rule to live by.
The only thing I've ever financed is my home.
Yeah.
Previously, but now I have no mortgage, no car loan, no debts. It's such a good feeling, you know. I mean, a home is one thing. When I had a wife and a kid, I lived in a nice house and we had a mortgage. But other than that, it's the only debt. I think when I opened my practice, I'm sure when you did, you had to take out a little bit of a loan. See, with the doctor's office, you have to. Because I needed to, exam tables, equipment. I took out a loan for that. Because I had no choice.
Joel,
I did.
Like
I guess you just emailed me.
I got it.
I had
from the mayor. Right. Did we ever hear from his friend? Remember, his friend was going to go there and try to pick it up.
That was my.
No, but I'm asking the mayor.
But you didn't need much to open up a practice as a lawyer.
Offer to give him some money for his
machine cost you that much.
Yeah.
And
what do they call it?
You have to have if you're a doctor's office.
But you get to write off all that shit too.
Yeah.
You know, we can't write off much of anything. You know. Yeah, I mean, it's there's different. I'm not saying all borrowing is bad forever for every business or whatever, but you're borrowing to invest in a business that will be going.
Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. All you have to do is call. And don't forget waterpros. Oh, wait, let me give you the proper one. Waterpros.net. They are there to help you with full whole house water conditioning systems under $2,000 fully installed. I can't stress this enough, okay? It's not so much the price. They are the best systems at the lowest price. You never get that combination. If you go to these, hey, Waterman, or these other commercials you hear, what you end up getting sometimes are a bunch of scammers who are lying to you. Paul the Waterman will never lie to you. Waterpros.net. He'll give you great pricing, whether it be a filtration system under $1,000 or a conditioning system for the whole house under $2,000. He's proud of his prices. You won't find anybody doing that. 303-862-5554. 303-862-5554. My job on this show is to expose liar, cheats, and ripoffs, and also to promote good guys. John Fuller's one of those good guys. He's here today. By the way, speaking bad guys, we don't know if Roadrunners, the movers, are bad or good, but all we know is we got a call from Elaine that said they picked up her stuff May 19th. They were going to move her and her daughter's household, 2 separate households, 2 separate contracts. Her daughter canceled. Now Roadrunner says to Elaine, who's now in South Carolina, sorry, we can't move you. Your stuff's in Denver. Pay us what you owe us, and we'll give you the rest of the information. Wait a minute. What do you mean what they owe you? You're breaching the contract, it looks like. We're investigating that case with Roadrunners.
Well, they're not asking for any more money. I just want to clarify. But they've taken $6,000 out of $10,000 for the total move and won't refund a nickel, and they've only moved the furniture like 10 miles.
Well, if they picked up with the intent of moving...
Yeah, but I think everything was boxed, so let's understand. They showed up, they loaded the boxes in, I think, Golden into their truck, and then they took it to storage.
No, I get it. And the intent was to move it. So if they're saying, well, we didn't move it, but we did pick it up, so that has some value.
Yes.
Well, that's bull, because picking up and moving into storage is an extra step. Picking up and moving it is different. If a company came, picked it up, and moved it, or they came, yeah, that does have value, picking it up and putting it in storage. But that's not what she contracted for. She contracted to pick it up and move it.
Yes, but my only point is they did do something. I don't know if that's $1,000 or $50. I could care less.
Well, another company, but another company has to redo everything.
That's right.
So what I'm saying is the service they provided is for naught.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they have to do it again.
You're right. It's useless because a new company would have to do the same thing they already did.
If they
packed it.
If they loaded it into a pod, and the pod was sitting there, and now they say, hire another company to move it, that's different. But if they picked it up and put it in their warehouse and now say, hire a company to move us, what value did she get from that short, intermittent move to storage?
None.
Nothing.
And this guy, I listened to this 8-minute conversation with her talking to him. I think his name was Mike. You could just tell he's a liar. You could just tell.
Well, we got to call them. Did we call them?
Did Dan give you the update?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So I talked to Janine. She's a registered agent. She said she was the owner there. She says they are not holding anybody's stuff. And so we're going to have Elaine call Janine directly.
What do you mean it's not there?
No, she said she's not, that she didn't even know a story like that.
All right, then I'm gonna send you right now the audio of her employee talking to Elaine yesterday.
Does she not know what's going on?
Apparently, she may not.
Elaine's supposed to report back after she talks to her.
And okay, good. So we are working on that. But here's the story. If you contract to move the stuff and you pick it up and decide you can't move it, you shouldn't charge for that pickup because that pickup has no value. You're breaching a contract.
Guess who, remember Jeff, what is it, Joffrey, Jolliffe, what is his?
Jeff Jolliffe. He's on our Instagram, Show Me Trouble.
So
he's also on sleazbrigade.com. Go ahead.
The mayor of the city that he's in heard the show yesterday and has reached out to us. I'm asking him to put us in touch with someone over there that can possibly help us when it comes to the one that got stolen. There was a marijuana place right across the street that refuses to give any video because, they're not being subpoenaed for it. But if we can get a detective to get over there and get that video, we might be able to prove that this guy stole his vehicle.
Also, the guy from yesterday, Mark, with the transmission on a pallet, Jeff Jolliffe texted me this morning that got picked up by Mark's friend yesterday or today.
Well, good.
Excellent.
Hey, listen, man, any move in a positive direction is all right with us. That doesn't mean he's out of the doghouse.
We should verify that with him.
Now, let's go back to Mary. Mary says, it gets down to this. I know we can have a tale about different management companies than this, but she has what they would call in Brooklyn a stoop that needs fixing. Mary, isn't it your stoop? Right. It's your platform, right? And how many steps going up to your stoop?
16, because I'm on the second floor.
Oh, so wait a minute. Is it a private entrance?
The private entrance, right, to it's apartment living.
So you're on the second, got it. You're on the second floor, and what needs fixing? The landing on the second floor right outside your door?
Right.
Is it wood or is it concrete?
It's membrane over concrete. And that membrane over years.
You mean concrete over membrane?
No, membrane. It's a rubber or something, plastic.
It's an epoxy, like a ground.
Oh, like a surface. You mean a surface over concrete?
But it's like a strip. It's a strip of membrane.
Can you listen, Mary, could you do me a favor? Do you have a cell phone where you can snap a pic and then you can text it to us? Can you do that?
I think she's using the wrong word.
I don't know. I just need to see when we call the place, we need to say what needs to be done. We'll call and light a fire for you, Mary.
Let me just explain this.
Go.
It's a membrane that's plastic, a plastic strip, and it has ripped up. The second time it's ripped up. The first time.
Is it like a tack strip that keeps you from slipping?
No, not really. It's prevent any leakage through the cement. Prevent leaking to the next, to the...
A membrane is generally
like
just a lining.
Like a flashing you're talking about?
No, not really.
Okay.
They did it.
We got to get some help here. Mary, here, we want to help you, okay? Can you...
Thank you.
Are you at the condo now?
I am, but I don't do computer. I'm 80.
Can't you take?
Oh, you're 80. You 80. You don't sound 80. Not that I don't know what that means, but maybe I expect you to go. Hello, Tom. I'm 80.
I know.
Mary, listen.
No.
Seriously. Your phone that you're on, is it a cell phone?
It is, and I can take pictures, but I don't know how to transmit. So I can have my daughter maybe send something to you.
All right. So outside your door. When you look down, do you see this defect?
It's about 3 feet from my entrance, but it's coming up to 16 stairs. I have to pass over it to get into my apartment. And it's like a rip. It's a rip.
And people could trip on it.
Right. And my daughter, I broke my arm last year, and when my daughter came out, she was in LA, California, and she came out and she saw it. And she said, "Oh, Mother," and she tried to call them.
Now, did you break your arm because of that?
No. I'm just saying that's why she came out, because she's so busy in California.
Okay.
Anyway, and she saw how bad
do you have anyone that could take a picture of it?
Well, I know she has one on her phone, but she's at work right now.
Oh, okay. Anyway, wait a minute. She already took a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay, Mary, hold on. We're going to help you, okay? We'll get one of our deputies to call management and to say, listen, you're being made aware of this. It's dangerous. Now you better do something. But what we want first is for your daughter to send us the picture. Suzanne, get that information to Mary so she can pass it on to her daughter. I'm Tom Martino. More coming up
on the Troubleshooter Show.
I'll call the management once we get a picture.
Probably got one of those ladybug phones. Like Janice will call.
I'll bet you it's a piece of carpet.
Membrane, because
I know, but it's a piece of carpet. I can even go down.
I'm going to fill in the middle.
Restaurants or restrooms on this level?
Yes, it's right where they used to be.
Okay.
To exit 235.
He's going up on Jollof. You thought he was a good guy. Oh, Jeff.
Do you know that there is a rash of ransomware going on? Now they want $70 million. I'm going to tell you a true story. It's so incredible you may not believe it. But if those people went to safernet.com and if they downloaded the app And for a couple bucks a month, they would have never gotten the ransomware, nor viruses, nor malware. SaferNet.com. Try it. 44 days free. Just use Tom in the promo code. How can you not do this for 44 days? 44 days free. Tom in the promo code. SaferNet.com. A couple bucks for each device that's protected. But you will be protected. Imagine that. Here's another phone call you should make. Art of Granite. TheArtofGranite.com. Get a price for your kitchen or bath project. They do granite, marble, quartz, whatever solid surface you want, they do. And they'll give you a price on the phone. Wholesale on all the materials. Tear out and haul away's free. And the bathroom's free when you do the kitchen. TheArtofGranite.com. And they do a wonderful job. 303-386-5919. Get your price on the phone. 386-5919. Investing cannot be guaranteed unless it's guaranteed. In other words, you're not allowed to say guaranteed. I can say guaranteed with Become the Banker because it's tax-free guaranteed income, tax-free. I can say guaranteed with the guaranteed pension for life. Yeah, I can say that. I can say all of that because they have a guaranteed pension for life and they also have a tax-free savings account. Become the Banker. To find out more, 303-779-6600 or mymoneymyway.com.
Did you see what Wells Fargo did?
What?
Double the dividend.
No. They're shuttering all personal lines of credit.
What do you shutter?
They have a certain product where you can go in there on a signature loan and borrow $300,000 to $100,000. They're going to basically call them all due, whatever the terms of, and they're not going to offer it anymore.
Ken, she's at Arapahoe and Holly. That's like right down the road.
Yeah.
Is that something you can stop by and take pictures of on your way home or whatever?
Yeah, I'll do it this afternoon.
She's about your age, man. 2 birds, 1 stone. Hello.
Okay, I'll
be here in the morning.
That's a younger woman for Doc.
Won't be here in the morning.
If you cut her age in half, I might consider it.
Where to start, Doc?
Every time I hear Become the Banker, I just think of Newman.
You think of what?
Side though.
Newman saying that. Because
My lifelong dream of becoming a
he
banker.
wanted to become the banker.
Sonny boy, look up there. You too could be a teller one day. Yeah, so Wells Fargo's getting rid of all the personal lines of credit.
So you know all the major banks passed that stress test. So now they were having to hold their dividends down.
Yeah.
Wells
So they
Fargo
don't get sunk by a massive string of defaults on it.
Yeah. Apparently
So
they're
we
flush
don't
with
have
cash.
another 08.
Yeah.
They say they're flush with cash.
It's a little strange though. They're killing all the. I mean, that's lead story on CNBC. All personal lines of credit.
But
Why are they doing it though?
Well, because they know the government money's running out.
They want to get all their money. They want to call their shit due before every other bank does.
Yeah.
They want to get paid before the mortgage companies
The
get
best
fucked.
investment you could make is a company that does bankruptcies, I think. It's going to just.
What do you think is going to happen when this rent moratorium ends?
Like I say, there should be bankruptcies everywhere.
Biden's going to go, you don't have to pay shit.
You think so?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I don't even know how that would hold up anywhere, but somehow he's done it for a year, and Trump did it for a year.
Unless the government pays the back rent.
It's pretty.
It's vote for you. Free vote for you.
That's right.
That's what I'm waiting on.
They got really mad over the Supreme Court ruling on states basically doing their own election rules.
That could only have gone that way.
Well, I know, it literally says that in the Constitution. The states are in charge of it. It's really amazing they even brought a lawsuit. I mean,
well, it's probably 6 to 3.
It was that lawsuit was actually filed like 3 years ago. It's been working its way through for that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Way before all the bullshit in the last election.
It was filed probably because of Trump coming into office.
Well, I don't know that they could have foreseen that, but it was but it's been around for 3 years, so it definitely predated that by a couple of years. A judge in Georgia just upheld most of Georgia's law yesterday, I think, which is also, the reality is that Georgia law. See, and the neat thing about it, the Dems are starting to own the whole voter ID thing.
Hi, Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. John Fuller, Fuller Law. We also talk about personal injury when he's here. And one of the things we talked about the other day is how to collect. You know, it suddenly occurred to me it doesn't matter what kind of a case you have. You know, there are people that would have a case worth $5 million if there was $5 million worth of insurance. But what the injustice seems to be that if somebody doesn't have $5 million worth of coverage, that same injury may only be worth $50,000. Now, that's hard to explain to someone, right? I mean, you should be getting millions for that facial disfigurement, let's say. Right? What do you do in a case like that, John? Seriously, you got to look for ways to collect. But if there are no ways to collect, you're out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, welcome to my world. That's why I stress to people the importance of uninsured motorist coverage, because it's the only thing you can do that makes sure there's enough money to go around.
For you.
In theory, for you and your family. That's
right.
The only thing you can do.
You can't force others to buy insurance.
You can. I mean, listen, the state minimums in Colorado are only $25,000. In California, they're only
$25,000 per person or per accident?
It's per person. Per accident, but most of them are capped at twice that for the whole accident. So if it's 25 per person, the total available for most policies, if they have a minimal limits coverage, is only going to be 50.
So if one person is involved, even though there's a 25 per person, you can go to the 50 if it's 50 per accident?
No, if it's just one person, it's 25 per person.
Are you kidding
50
me?
Per accident, yeah.
So if there's 3 people, they have to split 50.
Correct.
So if your family gets injured, that's what you meant. If you don't have underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage, you're screwed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gets even more insidious than that. Certain insurance companies, health insurance carriers, work comp carriers, they have a right to be paid back in front of your right to collect. And so they can swoop in and take all of that available money on that liability policy and leave you with nothing. So they can't do it oftentimes on uninsured motorist coverage. So again, it's the only way you can protect your family.
Do commercial vehicles have to carry more, or how does that work?
Yeah, generally commercial vehicles do have to have more liability coverage, so that if you get hit by one, there's generally a bigger policy.
Do they have a minimum, though? Does the state require a minimum?
It depends on the type of vehicle. Most of them will have at least $250. Some of your bigger haulers and stuff will have sometimes several $1 million in coverage. There's also, at that point, the concept of self-insurance, where the companies will self-insure up to a certain threshold, and then they'll have insurance that kicks in. That it's really no different than a deductible you may have on your policy, except just a lot bigger numbers.
Wow. Okay. Basically, if you don't have underinsured, what other places do you look to collect? If let's just say you have someone who's underinsured, are you allowed to have a judgment that stays there in case they run into money, or I don't know, is that foolish?
In reality, that's a pipe dream. I mean, we all grew up hearing, I'm going to own everything you own and that kind of stuff. That really is a fallacy. We don't go take people's homes. We don't go take people's cars.
Can people bankrupt out of judgments?
Almost always. Almost always.
But if you're a rich person and you get a $2, $3, $4 million judgment, you can't just bankrupt out of that, right? You would have a claim in that bankruptcy court, right? If somebody tried to do that?
It depends is the answer, and I'm not trying to be evasive, but there are certain claims that, bankruptcy is always a matter of comparing the debts to the assets. And so, people could have several $1 million of assets, but they could also have several $1 million of debt, and your judgment would be no more valuable than any of those other debtors.
So is insurance the main way to collect on personal injury? The main way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in your career, are there ever percentages of personal injuries you can collect from people? Or is it mostly never?
Thomas, mostly never. I mean,
okay.
Here's the reality. People that have assets and people that have money tend to buy lots of insurance because they recognize the value of it. And it's not that much money. It truly is not. Now, would I buy insurance and not eat? No, but I'm not in that situation. So I get that it's a struggle for some people. But really and truly, when you get in your life to the point where you have assets and you make decisions about what to do with them, insurance is really not that expensive. I mean, we can go deeper than that, but people talk about umbrellas and stuff. I don't really care about an umbrella for me personally. The only reason I have an umbrella is so that it opens the door for me to buy extra coverage for me and my family. That's it. That's the only reason I have it, because they sell a rider that allows you to have that much more
Okay. 303-713-TALK. People, you should be thinking about insurance, not just for yourself and your liability, but if someone hits you. Let's talk about an accident with Todd. Todd, go ahead.
Hey, Tom.
Welcome, Todd. What's going on?
Well, that was a good introduction to this. My truck was parked on the street in March of this year during that, we had like a 27-inch snowstorm.
Okay, it was parked on the street. Got it.
And it was out in the county or Larimer County.
And what kind of vehicle? What year? What make?
It's a 2008 Honda. Trail Ridge.
I bet a snowplow hit you.
So what happened?
Yeah, well, exactly. A snowplow hit me. And, I thought it would be pretty much taken care of.
Hell no.
After some...
Do you have any... Let's skip right to this. Do you have insurance coverage that would cover that? Do you have any kind of coverage?
No, I do not.
Okay. So this is what you call immunity because the government was maintaining infrastructure or repairing infrastructure. If the guy was out joyriding, that's different. That's why immunity is conditional on them doing their job.
How about if it was a third party that contracted with
Let's ask John. Let's ask, since John's the expert.
Private contractor.
Todd, what?
It is a private contractor.
All right. When they're doing work, I'm going to just say this. Let John finish. Because I believe when you are working for a municipality, I believe their immunity is over you. But let's talk, John. What about it? Independent contractor doing snow plowing work, are they covered by governmental immunity?
In many instances, they are. What happened when you made the claim to them, Todd?
Well, they denied it.
Yeah. And why did they deny it, though? I want to know why.
Well, it's been denied 3 times.
But why?
Well, first time they said, well, nobody saw it. Saw the accident. All
right, keep going. Just keep going. We don't have to belabor it. What's the next reason?
The second time was that, it could have been another snowplow in the area that hit it.
Okay, what's the next reason?
And then the third reason was, the dents on your truck don't equal the width of the blade of the...
I'm surprised they didn't simply say... I'm surprised they simply did not say, we're not liable.
Right. Sometimes, Tom, there is liability for that kind of stuff, and it sounds like they're just defending on the facts and saying, how are you going to prove, and we get this in our cases too, how are you going to prove my guy hit it?
Well, I'm curious, how does he know it was the county and it wasn't a neighbor with a big truck or something?
Well, okay, so...
How do you know?
I went to go get the vehicle... Well, I saw the snowplow.
Right.
It is actually a big farm tractor with a big yellow blade on it.
Did you see it hit your truck?
I had yellow. No, I have yellow paint.
Okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable
on my truck.
Now, were you parked? Were you parked? A lot of times, you're not supposed to park in certain snow routes during snow. Were you in a snow route where they plow? Okay.
No. See, this is the other thing about the deal about some other snowplow this is a subdivision where there's one entrance in, one entrance out. So nobody's driving through it.
Is it a public? Wait, is it privately maintained by the subdivision, or is it a municipal?
No, it's the snow plowing is through the Larimer County.
All right, listen, here's what you do.
I couldn't tell you about.
All I can tell you is they're morons for not saying they're immune. I mean, because honest to goodness, I really don't know why they just, I don't think you could ever get them. I mean, I keep going back to this case when I first got to Colorado. The guy's name, I remember the guy's name. It was Norcross, the last name. For some reason, I remember that name. He was mutilated by a snowplow while he was in his truck. Mutilated. I mean, it was terrible. And I think, I want to go so far as to say, I believe that the snowplow guy had some alcohol, maybe not even drunk. And they got out of every dime. His life was ruined. And the judges, they wouldn't take it. They would not take the case. The judges wouldn't even let him go. They dismissed it because of immunity. And I don't understand why this place is even talking to you. Just say we're not liable.
You know what's interesting, Tom? You say, listen to this. Supreme Court affirms government contractors qualified immunity. It was a 6-3 decision in 2016. And it even says, even if they're not engaged in public works, unless if they violated federal law or other laws, they're immune.
Right. If they break the law, that's why I was saying, was he acting in the scope of his employment? And you know, he wasn't out joyriding or doing something. Todd, you're going to have an uphill battle. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You go through all the trouble to try to prove it. You get an eyewitness, then they're going to say we're not liable. They're going to, Todd.
Tom, there's part of the story that I haven't brought up, though, is that the private party, he has a landscaping company, and he was going to settle. We just couldn't come up with an agreement.
Well, Todd, you know what? You are so lucky you are dealing with a moron. You are so lucky. You better settle.
Well, I think that's off the table now.
Or a good company.
Because he didn't want to go through the insurance.
You know what you should do, Todd? You should sue the guy. How much damage you got?
Well, I had two estimates, and one was like 75, and the other one was a little over 10,000.
Well, I would go to small claims court for $7,500 against that company. That's sure. You know what? If they didn't bring up immunity, what the hell? You say, look, here's the yellow paint. Did you take pictures? Do you have notes?
Hey, and maybe it's some kind of weird deal where, like...
Tom, it doesn't always extend to private people.
Good. That's good. I thought it did, but maybe it doesn't.
No,
under what circumstances would immunity not extend to a private company?
Well, as an example, we have RTD. That's clearly a government agency.
Right.
But they have private contractor buses that run under Laidlaw. They're not subject to GIA. So they're a private company. They're not afforded coverage under the Governmental Immunity Act.
But I thought even RTD isn't.
They definitely are.
So those guys are immune too?
No, they're not.
I'm talking about the regular RTD buses.
Regular ones are covered by RTD.
But the independent contractors are not.
Listen, when I'm saying that they're covered by GIA, they are. That doesn't mean they're immune. That just means that act applies to the case. So they're liable for damage they cause. I'm just pointing out the issue that not all GIA is immune from suit.
This is Denver's talk station with Time Sober.
A lot of times, even if they could go GIA, if you will, as a defense, they still pay a lot of times, right?
Just because it's a governmental immunity applies. Like, for instance, RTD. Okay, I've had 20 RTD cases. Okay, they pay, they settle, but I have to comply with the GIA, so I have to do the notice. I have to go through all the provisions and stuff that I have to cover that I don't have to do on a private accident. And
it's just more labor intensive.
Dan ran into me or something. It's more labor intensive. I don't think that this immunity really applies to a private landscape company that's contracted out to go plow 2 or 3.
In other words, if he can prove they did it, they'll probably have to pay him.
Yeah, his carrier got involved and said, "Screw you, buddy. you can't prove anything. We're not just going to accept that you say, well, I saw a yellow, you know.
Do you have to, if it is like an RTD bus, regardless of what kind, do you have to do it within a certain amount of time? Okay.
The cars, trucks, and SUVs of the future for everyone.
What is it, 90 days or?
180, actually 183 now.
Okay.
A public entity does not have governmental immunity when it constructs a public building. Zero Res is the place to get your carpets cleaned. I love Zero Res. Let me tell you why. They don't use any soap or emulsifiers, just water. Yeah, not just regular water, empowered water. No, it's not something you can do yourself. This is empowered water, alkaline based, and it's also super soft. It gets into the fibers and cleans without the soaps and emulsifiers. But here's what's great about that. It dries faster, no residue. Therefore, it doesn't attract new dust and dirt. ZeroResDenver.com for more information. These guys are the ones you want cleaning your carpet. They're the ones that clean mine. Zero Res Denver. 3 rooms, $109. 3 rooms. Some conditions apply. You can call them if you want. 303-471-5150. Get details. 303-471-5150. 3 rooms, $109. ZeroResDenver.com. And they stay cleaner longer. Remember that. Not just like new, but stay cleaner longer. ZeroResDenver.com.
I'll go you one better.
I'm a patient of Colorado Pain Care, and I like what they're doing. Now, they gave me immediate help with a trigger point injection, gave me over the hump, and then it helped me with physical therapy after that. And now we're working on longer-term solutions. I urge you to contact them if you're in pain, any pain. That's what they work with, pain. And they accept all major insurance. 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN. I'm sorry, John, yes?
No, I'm sorry. I would go even one better than that. Under the improper delay and denial, he might can tune them up for twice the covered benefit for denying improperly his property tax.
It says here the Immunity Act does not extend government entities does not extend to independent contractors. Now, I always thought it did. It never does. It looks like here it never does.
It doesn't extend to government contractors.
Okay, when a motor vehicle is owned or leased by a public entity, operated by an employee, it covers it. Yep.
Call us today for your free in-home estimate. We'll even take 20% off our already low price and receive 0%.
Wait, oh, it says here, okay. What does this do? Public entities shall be immune from liability in all claims for injury, which lie in a tort or could be in tort, except as provided otherwise in this section. Through I.
So those next 6 paragraphs are the waivers of governmental immunity.
Month after month, your timeshare company
so for a motor vehicle accident, they waived it, right? For public hospital, correctional facility, or jail, they waived it. Dangerous condition in a public building, waived. So those are all the waivers.
No. I thought these are the ones where they do have immunity now. Why does it say A through I?
Provide for waivers.
Yeah, but this is not A through I. This is 1 through 9. I don't get it. It's 1 through 9. It's saying, okay, you're right though. Provide for waiver of sovereign immunity in 9 situations, and it's obviously talking about.
And it 9 goes down to the next page.
Yeah.
So I think it's dangerous to say that there's always immunity in that situation. There's not. I didn't want to just jump in there, but there's generally against a private entity. Joe Blow on a tractor, you should be able to tune him up.
Operation does not apply to a motor vehicle. Negligent failure of an RTD bus driver to ensure that passengers board and disembark safely is included in the waiver of immunity under. Likewise, negligently stopping discharging passenger in an improper place of a bus for which there has been waived. I don't know that fucking.
You just don't go down the rabbit hole of RTD. Those are too weird to work out because
that guy sent you anything from the car hit the house the other day.
No, he didn't.
That was a weird one.
I kind of got it.
He said his paperwork says he didn't have the coverage.
I suspect the way he described it, he has UMPD.
Which means only for his vehicle or whatever.
Most of those guys don't really, I mean, you can have liability and go ahead and get UM and stuff, but usually when you have liability only, you've waived off comprehensive and collision for your car, so UMPD kind of makes sense. That's the only time that UMPD makes sense.
So we had a house sitter years ago. I might have told you this before, but she backed out. We were out of town. Suzanne and I were in Legoland with the kids. She runs over our dog with our car. Her homeowners paid for it.
Nice.
All right, 303-713-8255.
That's the number. Any issues you have, we want to hear from you. Right now we got full lines, but we'll let you know when something opens up. Absolutely, positively. I want to see what's going on with Carl. This sounds horrible. It looks like your neighbors decided to paint your fence?
Yes. Well, the neighbor didn't really know what was happening.
Well, who painted it?
So he hired painters to do his house, and while they were there, he said, will you paint the backside of my fence?
Okay, well, wait a minute. It's on your side. It's your fence you put up. I assume he didn't pay for half of it, but they painted their side of it?
Right, it's a wood fence, so he had the back side of it. I have the side with the pickets.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well,
I want to ask you, Carl, I want to ask you something obvious. I mean, why does that bother you? Can you, see it?
Oh, he painted about 60 feet of my backyard side black.
Oh, my God. Why? And how would you,
So
I don't even know how you would fix that. It was just natural wood, then they painted it. So they painted, Tom, listen to this. So picture a neighborhood. You've got a fence for your backyard. Your neighbor paints their side of the fence. What color did they paint that? Was it black?
Yeah.
And then what did they do to your side?
They came around into my yard and painted about 60 feet of my fence black.
Until they figured out what was going on or you came out.
No, they finished because my backyard takes up 2 lots, and so they painted it all the way up to the end of my neighbor's lot.
It's his
fence. Did you put the fence up?
It was there when I moved in, but it's on my side of the property line.
That doesn't matter if it's on your side. But who owns it?
I do.
How do you know that?
He's saying it's on his property.
It doesn't matter. I mean, who put it up? Did that neighbor put it up?
No.
Okay. So does the neighbor acknowledge you own it?
He won't say one way or another. He's only lived there about a year.
Can you take it down if you wanted to?
I would assume I could.
Well, see, that's the thing. You just said it went past your lot to another lot, right?
No, my backyard is 2 lots wide.
What if it wasn't 2 lots wide? In other words, who acquired the second lot? Was that fence put up after they acquired both lots, or is it a subdivision fence? I'm trying to discern who owns the fence, who put it up, how long it's been there, all of that.
All right, so it belongs to me. My lot is in a subdivision, but my lot is twice as big as all the other houses.
And how long has it been twice as big?
Since it was built.
How long?
Tom, I think he's just saying that the width of his fence is wider than the width of the neighbor's fence behind him.
No, I get it. So, your fence borders more than one lot.
Exactly.
Okay. Did the other owner, did he paint the other side for the other owner? Or the other house? You got 3 properties that board that fence, 2 on one side and yours on the other, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Did they paint both sides of all fences?
No.
They just painted what?
Only the one side of my neighbor's one house's backyard and half of my backyard.
Okay, and they only did half of your backyard because you stopped them. Had you not stopped them, would they have painted the whole backyard of yours?
No, they only did half of my backyard because they were only doing it up to his property line.
Okay, I see. So then half of it would be black, and the other half would be what color?
Wood.
Natural wood.
It was natural wood, and is it redwood?
Sounds like a 6-foot privacy.
And they actually use a black paint?
Yes.
I'd be so pissed.
I mean, they really had no right to paint it. I mean, from everything you're describing...
And there's no way to fix it, right?
Well, why did they paint it?
No.
Was it deteriorating?
It was, by the way, it wasn't literally his neighbor. The neighbor hired someone to paint the house, and they said, hey, do you want to paint the fence at the same time?
I'm sure they probably sprayed it and then realized they just completely destroyed the backside of the property or the fence, and the only way to cover up the spray was to go around and spray the other side.
Maybe.
That's a good point.
How does it look? I mean, in other words, how do you like it?
It's a black fence.
Well, it looks terrible because the rest of the fence is just wood. And
no, I'm asking, if they painted the whole thing, would it look good to you?
No.
So what do you want
black.
done?
That's terrible.
What do you want done?
Well, there's no way to fix it without replacing it.
Is there an HOA in there?
No.
Oh.
You know, I just want to caution you on something, though, because people think when they put up a fence or a fence is on their property, it's automatically theirs. It's not necessarily. Some HOAs say that when a fence is put up, they own each their side. Some say that they own it 50-50 for maintenance. Others say the one who puts it up, if they do the setback, they own it. I don't know what your subdivision says.
But regardless of any of those, they shouldn't have painted his side.
No matter what, I can't see. Well, if he owned the fence completely, like he's saying, he could have painted both sides technically, is what he is saying. So if it is your fence, then paint it.
Yeah, they trespassed on his property and did damage.
So, exactly. That's right. You paint it.
They're going to be liable.
If it is your fence and you're, you know, here's what I would do. I would write a letter saying, this is my fence. I'm going to paint it to restore it.
You can't. You can't restore it to the natural wood.
Oh, no. Did you want natural wood?
Yeah. Yes, so that it's the same as everything else.
Okay. All right. Listen, did you talk to your neighbor?
I did.
And what did he say, or she?
He said that he only asked him to paint his side of the fence.
And what did you say to that?
He didn't know, and well, I said that would have been fine if he had only painted your side, but he didn't know until he had finished.
All right, hold on. I got to take this break. We got to figure out how to handle this. Hold on.
So I'd sue the neighbor. The neighbor's going to have to go after the fence company.
That's his problem.
I wonder if
But the fence company literally trespassed on his property.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they went and sprayed that thing. They're like, holy shit, Paco, there's paint raining down the backside of the fence. What did you do? They could have rolled it and been fine, but they sprayed it and it just oversprayed like crazy.
And it went through the gaps and
they're like, you better get over there and fix that. What are we going to do? Paint it. I'd be pissed too if he painted half my freaking fence.
Oh my God, I'd lose it. Especially a nice, you know, well, I mean, a 6-foot privacy is what it is, but you sure don't want it black. I've never seen a black.
I can't believe his neighbor's got a camp all there.
Actually, I saw a nice brand new vinyl black fence in our neighborhood.
I've seen some pretty badass aluminum ones down.
But has he tried to contact the paint company to see if they're willing to do something?
Yeah,
one supplies materials.
That would be the first thing. Just call the paint company and see what their response is.
But they can't do it without really replacing those wooden
I know,
but then now you know what that looks like. Wood after a couple of years, and you're going to match wood that's brand new.
Yeah.
You know they painted the posts.
Granite Liquidators sells directly to the public all of their stone slabs at wholesale. That means you pay the same price as a builder. Now it's called Granite Liquidators. GraniteLiquidators.com to find out more. They may as well call it Stone Liquidators or Slab Liquidators because you can buy any slab material there and you buy it at wholesale. And here's what I like. You walk the yard and you get to pick whatever slab you want based on the slab. So if you're doing a shower, you can see what you're going to use, a counter, windowsills, backsplashes. You don't go by just little tiny samples. Now, once you get the slab, you put your name on it, and they store it there until you're ready to use it. That's graniteliquidators.com, and they're up at 5075 Tabor Street in Wheat Ridge. graniteliquidators.com. Now, you may want the Art of Granite to do the actual labor, the fabrication, that installation, all of that, and they can do that for you. The Art of Granite, of course, they charge wholesale for materials too, or you can buy it at Granite Liquidators. But theartofgranite.com will give you a price on the phone for your entire project when you call them. And then, of course, you can tell them if you have your own stone or where you're getting it, or if you want to buy from them. Theartofgranite.com, you can get your price on the phone for beautiful countertops, 303-386-5919. The bathroom's free. When you do the kitchen, tear out and haul away's free. That's 303-386-5919. Shopping for an attorney can be stressful, especially if that attorney is a criminal defense attorney. I recommend you don't shop when you're in trouble. Put a name away and hope you never need it. I know Joe Lazzara. I've done the shopping for you. If you ever need a good criminal defense attorney, Joe Lazzara. He'll give you free consultations and quote you flat rates on your defense. So put the name away, the number, hope you don't need it. You may have to refer someone. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. And by the way, criminal defense includes DUIs. Joe Lazzara on referralist.com.
You guys still doing your Facebook stuff? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're live all the time.
Yeah.
Where's your camera feed now? Or is it just...
We got. I want to clarify the government. I want to clarify the government.
Okay.
Make sure we get that right.
So California's extended the moratorium by 3 months.
Again?
And
the eviction moratorium.
They're paying any back rent.
They're going to pay landlords?
Yeah.
That's,
and
how can
it's
for
all
everyone
it's all federal money.
So everyone, so the people who continue to pay their rent get fucked.
Yeah, they don't get free. And actually, by announcing that, if I was a renter, I'd quit paying now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why would you pay?
They got $5.2 billion of federal money to spend.
Can't kick me out, bro.
Wow. Bro.
Love California.
And utility bills and rent.
I can buy me a boat.
God, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely insane.
It is.
Why would they extend it, though?
3 months.
Didn't they try to get masks back in out there?
Oh, they did.
Oh,
they did.
Did
Tom,
you
you were just out there. The mask mandate was there, right?
Yeah. In most, but no. It depends on the place, but on all public stuff, yeah.
Tell them about what you said about flags and stuff out there.
Oh, there wasn't one. You could not tell it was 4th of July.
Really?
Not one display, not one anywhere that we were, not one. Now, the little neighborhood, this was totally separate. The little neighborhood got together that morning and had a little parade. I'm talking about just the people that she knows in that little neighborhood. But even those people had nothing in their homes. There was nothing. Except that morning I saw that, but that was like 20 minutes. But I'm talking about you walk everywhere. No store, no house. There was not even a little sticker. You could not tell anything anywhere. No 4th of July sales. Nothing.
I think it's so woke, they're scared that they'll be
So what are they doing?
jumped on.
Moving to Colorado.
Well, the smarter ones.
It's helping our housing.
Doing something.
They'll keep coming. Housing will keep going
Yeah,
up.
they also changed or
Then I'll move to
reviewed
Texas.
politics. They're Californicating in Colorado.
I think the people that move there don't want to create another California area.
I think they still bring politics with them. Yeah.
You think they want to create what they're moving from?
No. I think
He
they
said
still bring
that this
politics
place,
with them, right?
All American Transmission, is not located
Still bringing politics with
on
them.
Federal Boulevard there where we said.
No, he said it's a different one. Well, that's one of the guys.
That's how
that
they know
names.
is because they made a lot of money. on
He
housing.
says if you keep
There you
reading
go.
that, he says
There you go.
something else.
It ain't all bad.
Spartan Garage on 70th Avenue.
And aren't a lot of companies moving from California to Texas because there's no tax?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713. 8255. Here we are, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. So, Carl, how do we handle it? The guy painted your fence. I think there's only one way to handle it, and that is you may be able to strip it. You may be able to strip it and finish it. I mean, you can take paint off a fence, off wood. It's rough wood.
It's going to saturate. It's going to be cooked.
Listen,
it's
Carl, you need to get a price to repair that fence. And by goodness, how old was the fence? I mean, there might be some depreciation. You get actual cash value, but I mean, there can't be much with a fence. A fence is going to last 20 years. How old was that fence?
You know, I don't know. It was here when I...
Give me a rough idea, man. How long were you there?
I've been here 9 years.
Is it possible?
But it's a fence.
I understand that. No matter what, there's no infinity, okay? I mean, I don't know. Maybe a judge would say replace it. What do you think, John? Replace the whole fence, brand new. You deserve it. It's a fence. I don't know. Is there any betterment? Is there any depreciation? I'm saying to sue the guy in small claims court, I think you'll win. I think you'll get a judgment. They ruined your fence. There's no two ways about it. They ruined your fence. You need a new one. Now, if you get a new one, do you leave the argument to those guys to say betterment, John, or do you sue for the whole price of a new one? What would you do? Or would you show some maybe reasonableness and say, okay, a new fence is going to cost this much, and we want half of that because it was half down.
I think realistically the only solution is going to involve all three landowners because three people are really going to be involved
But
here.
It's his fence, though.
And I agree, and it's probably his neighbor's homeowner's insurance that is going to get impacted, or vis-a-vis the fence company is going to get brought in.
Carl, you have to, though, sue the guy that did it. You really do. In small claims court.
Well, he hired you.
I think my neighbor.
Well, I know what house you do.
But the neighbor will countersue the fence company. I don't have the will standing to go after the fence company. I do on trespass, okay? But I think that's a limited degree of fix because they're only going to be responsible for what they did, which is your half of the fence, and that's going to leave you with the shitty fence for the whole back of your property.
Guys, are you ladies playing at Lone Tree?
I definitely want to play there.
Where's Lone Tree? What are you talking about?
For their racquetball.
Oh,
I don't like that other place.
Soon to be pickleball.
Well, man,
You gonna play pickleball next year?
you guys decide
Oh,
to
no,
play
I'm not
pickleball,
coordinated.
my
Give me
middle
yoga, I'm
name was
great.
Pickleball.
Well, pickle.
I believe part of that.
Have you ever played that? Pickleball?
They would see me coming and
They played it, not
forget it. They wouldn't even.
It's big, man. It exploded.
They would give up
being
their
in a
pickles.
retirement community.
Just for your ball.
Shit.
Hey, don't you have to be retired to play that?
Yeah.
The rule.
That's why I'm a great pickleball
What was
player.
so funny back there?
What?
When Michael Brown came in, you were laughing like
He scared me. Then he's like, he was saying something about.
So he
standards
said there's
stuff.
no All-American transmission. Sadly, that is not the end of the story. The phone number lists
Should I try calling Elaine just to see if she?
I told her to text me.
Okay.
Yeah, you've met Elaine. She's been to both of our kids'
What is this?
graduation
Oh,
parties.
really?
Yeah.
Garcia's
They're
Auto
friends of
Repair.
ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is up there, right?
So-
What's Garcia's Auto
Where
Repair?
are they moving?
Bullhead, Carolina, Carolinas. I don't know. Bullhead, something
I hope
bull.
they get their
something,
place back.
something head. It's a beach community or something.
Oh.
It's
Hilton
something,
Head?
yeah, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hilton
Hilton
Head.
Head or
Yeah,
something.
that's
Something. I don't know. Never been there.
What's that, Hilton Head?
Hilton Head.
I don't think it's that high.
It's South Carolina
Yeah,
or
this
something.
guy-
That's a huge.
What I'm saying is I don't think these folks moved there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, they moved to the South
I
Carolina.
think Hilton Head, South Carolina.
I'll ask. It's probably right on their
Hello, Mary.
contract.
Say another head. Hey, Mary.
Actually,
Hey,
it
this is Doc from the Tom Martino show.
Oh, yes. 1 second, sir.
Sir, who the hell is she talking?
She doesn't know, apparently.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I have a meeting at 2:30.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I have a meeting at 2:30, so I'll be over your place probably around 4:30 or 5. I'll call you before I come over.
Oh, okay.
Get another heat wave coming.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
It's supposed to be 96 here today. I'll call Lone Tree. All right, so we'll coordinate. I'll give you a call when I'm free. we'll coordinate the time.
That thing, you know what it means, they don't take those.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thank you for just doing that.
Yeah, we'll just get that.
No problem.
I can't imagine anybody.
I have a meeting at 2:30 with somebody about my place.
Let's see here.
You know, I see, you know, the summertime and natural gas, you guys probably don't watch that, but it's the big buildup season.
What is it called? What is it called?
Just natural.
The pricing.
No, the storage. Natural gas storage, usually summer's buildup, but here this last, because of the heat, we're using so much natural gas for electricity, flat.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Did you watch all 3 seasons of Manifest?
Which one's Manifest? With the
one
airplane that
where
disappeared? I'm in the 3rd season.
Okay, because here's the thing. They're not renewing it. So I don't want to, I'm getting involved now. I'm thinking, I don't want to be fucked at season 3 if they leave it up in the air.
When did they decide that?
They just decided it like several
Well, I don't think all the episodes are out for season 3, so they could probably wind it up. I don't know.
No, they're all out.
They are?
But I don't know if they, I want to know if they leave me hanging, I hate it.
It started, I'm at the point where it's getting
that's
weird.
It's a good fucking show, but does it really go anywhere? Does it answer questions?
Yeah, it starts to, but they haven't answered the question yet. Like, what the fuck happened?
Well, it seems like they all have some
That's the question you need to answer, too.
Do they keep hinting toward the God connection?
There's our TV show review.
That's about where they are now.
Yeah.
That's where they were in the beginning. They had some.
What was that one
they
where
they had a calling on their lives? They could all foresee things happening.
What was the one where everybody one day, like half the population was brought up into heaven, like almost a resurrection?
Right. It was the 4,400 you're talking about? Oh, okay. Oh, half. That's right. That's right.
That was awesome.
That was called Left Behind, right? No. It was a Left Behind
type.
And it was a great series. Fuck.
But the
half
ending
the
to that
population.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
they had all kinds of weird people around left on Earth that were like believe certain things.
No, and that starred.
That was good.
That's some good stars in it. That was a weird
Which
series.
one was that?
That all of a sudden, and they never called it the rapture, never talked about religion. Only some of the people on Earth did. But one day, half of all the people in the world
total random. It could be a kid, an adult. It could be anybody. Just totally random.
Half the people disappeared. And I watched that.
What show was that, Tom?
I gotta remember the name.
It was good. It had probably 2 seasons.
Around 8th Avenue.
Oh, I got into a comedy last night that's so good on HBO.
The Leftovers. It was called.
I binged 7 of them. Fuck, is it funny? It's about an old, I think they're doing a Joan Rivers, like she's kind of Joan Rivers. So she's a comedian, and she's doing a full term at one of the casinos in Vegas. So she's working 5 days a week. She's killing it. She's been there like 30 years. And her jokes are getting old. It's kind of like a Joan Rivers. So they got this young girl that's about 21 that just lost her job because of a tweet that she put out, some kind of tweet that worked on a sitcom. So they got the two together, and they really hate each other. But
Is it a talk show?
It's a dark.
Is it about a late night talk show?
No, it's about a late night. She's a comedian in Vegas. She does a show every night. That's it. Hacks.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. Hacks. H-A-C-K-S.
I know, 3 of my buddies told me I need to watch it.
Holy, I sat down for one
What's
episode,
good
never
about
saw it. At the end of 7 last night, I was so exhausted I had to go to sleep.
It's really good.
I did 7 last night.
It's called H-A-C-K-S?
It's on HBO Max. It's fucking good, man. It's funny as shit. She's a big star. I can't think of her name. She's good. But she's playing kind of the Joan Rivers type. And her shit's getting so old that they want to, she doesn't know what a tweet is, for example. So her stand-up in Vegas is getting a little old. Although she does make a funny line, she goes, the people in Florida still love it. And then fly out from Vegas.
That is good. That is funny.
God, it's good, man. It's been a long time since I watched 1 and binge 7 all in one sitting. And they're quick. They're only like 30-minute episodes.
Is that RV of yours brand new, or is that used?
No, it's used. I'll never buy a new one again. Ever, man.
Yeah, but it's only got 30-some thousand miles on a 1 million mile engine.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally a 1 million mile engine.
It's because of the depreciation.
It's gonna be more.
There's a lot in Florida. But you know, they're going to be giving them away for free because Biden's going to say, Mark, no more loan.
I don't know. I might do something.
I'll have to go take a loan ad on it, just the benefit of the free one.
Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. I'm with our auto accident expert, motor vehicle accident expert, personal injury attorney, John Fuller. We've been talking about personal injury cases and how it all really hinges on how collectible a case is. Not what your case is worth, how much can you collect. If you really think about it, that's what you should be asking. And attorneys ask that anyway. They don't want to work on a case and get $1 million verdict that'll never be paid. Have there been multi-million-dollar verdicts that are never paid, John? Is that?
Yeah.
And we don't hear about that part, do we? But
well, I mean, listen, going to court is not free. Okay, so the reality of it is this: if there is not some potential for collectability, what's the point?
And in reality, what percentage go to court? In reality,
well,
in all
say
personal
probably,
injury, in all personal, not just yours. What would you say in all personal injury?
I would say maybe 30 to 35% of them will end up in litigation, and
really?
Of those, only maybe 5% or so will actually go to trial.
Okay, well, when you say in litigation,
it means a lawsuit filed and going through the process of moving towards trial, discovery and depositions.
Okay, 30% are filed, maybe, and then maybe 5 or 10 go to 5 or 10% go to trial.
I'm shocked on the 35. I thought a lot more would go to court.
No, not me. I would think. Although, John, to preserve your rights, don't you sometimes file just because you want to be within the statute of limitations?
Sure. Yeah, if you run out of time, you have to file.
And for those listening, what is that statute of limitations?
Most of the time on car accidents, 3 years.
And, John, what's the biggest mistake people make? Here's what I think. Not quantifying or qualifying or documenting injury. I mean, they do have injury maybe, but I didn't go to a doctor. I'm just feeling like crap.
Delaying medical treatment, gaps in treatment, absolutely.
Can you have pain and suffering without an injury? I'm serious. Can you?
Well, I would say generally no. I mean, if you don't have an injury, why do you have pain?
Okay, I'll tell you about one case that I know of only. I'm not trying to trick you. I know about this. A person got into a car accident, and they were just starting to come out of a depression and leave their home. True story. She did not even want to leave her home. She finally got to a point where she could walk down the block, walk around, then got into her car to go down to the supermarket. Bam. That set her back. Now listen, I would think you can't be in trouble for hitting someone with mental problems. But then the eggshell theory came in. You get your victims like you find them. Yep. This woman was vulnerable. You hit her. You set her way back. That was an amazing. She didn't have one physical injury.
Well, but that's not to say
I know that's rare.
She wasn't damaged. She suffered an exacerbation of her prior condition.
Oh, she did suffer. You're right.
She did.
I meant she didn't have a broken bone or a bruise.
Well, not every injury is tangible and come in the way of broken bones and bruises. There are emotional injuries. There are mental health injuries. There are 1,000,001 different versions of concussions that some doctors will claim don't exist. I mean, just because you can't see it on an X-ray or an MRI doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right. There was the comedian that got hit by the Walmart truck.
Yep.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, so, they're saying he got $100 million. I thought there were limits. So, in other words, even if it were, and you could probably argue one of the few cases, Tracy Morgan or some of these comedians might actually be able to generate that in the rest of their lifetime. So the argument there, so let's pretend it's a case like that. I thought there were limits, or is that just Colorado and not where that happened?
Well, most states where there are limits, those limits apply to the non-economic damages. Non-economics are, as the name implies, things like pain and suffering. That
mental distress would be?
Yeah, exactly, but not loss of income. Loss of income is an economic loss.
So that's probably where the majority of his.
I would think so.
Well,
the guy's got a great history of performance and income and everything.
Got it. Okay, listen, I don't want to get too far straight really quickly, but can't you convert an emotional injury into an economic injury? Because
you might.
You're distressed, you're not going to work, you're not going to be working as hard.
Well, I mean, not working as hard is
you know, like a comedian, he can't do
not generating as much.
Okay, I mean, the situation is one of where's the impact and what caused it. Causation is always the issue, Tom.
Doc, I got to go ahead quickly, please.
If you wait a week after an accident to go to the ER, is that too late? Is there can you deny a proximate cause?
I would say if you have that's a great question, but I think if you have a legit injury, that the connection can be made. No,
it still can be made. I mean, it's not an absolute requirement that you go to the ER following an accident, but it's never a bad idea if you're injured.
Good. Rona, let's talk about your problem. What's going on, Rona?
Hi.
Hey, what's
Can
happening?
you hear me?
Yes, I can, Rona.
Oh, great. I'm sure glad I stayed on the line. I just hope this government phone don't cut me off because I got unlimited minutes besides.
Okay, so you got a free government phone. Congratulations to you, Rona. What can we do to help you, dear?
Oh, I hope so. I'm nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof. I had gotten a lawsuit, was one from a very serious car accident. I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm one of these ones who everything just came up at the same time. So I sat on the earnings that I got for just a little too long.
Rona, hold on, Rona.
I want to pay back SSI.
Rona, you got to help me out. Rona, I need to ask some very basic questions. You mentioned an accident. Were you awarded damages in an accidament?
Finally, after working really hard.
That's a yes or no. Yes, Rona. I'm going to be asking questions that just need simple answers. Then I'm going to let you fill in anything you want. You were awarded damages. Okay. When were you awarded damages? 1 year ago? 2 years ago? When?
Do we go by when I received the check or when the money became available to me?
When you received the check.
I would say it was April of 2020.
Okay, hold on a sec. How much was that check?
Nice.
Huh?
Well, do I have to say exactly?
Yes. Oh, no, just give me an idea. 10,000, 20, 100,000, how much?
In the 70s.
About 70,000. Okay. Listen, there's a reason I'm asking this. And this was as a result of a car accident, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now,
and
when
I don't belong on my SSI.
No, hold on.
Because of that, I want to pay it back, and I want to let the judge know if I have to go to court that I want to not stay on SSI.
Rona, none of this. Please just don't ramble because we don't know what you're talking about. So you have to tell us a very logical story. Were your government benefits taken away when you were awarded this money?
No.
Okay, then what are you calling about now? Just one thing at a tell us what's going on.
Okay, the part that I'm scared.
Yeah.
I just got done getting the COVID vaccine and getting around.
Okay.
I wanted to come forward. Nobody knows.
Come forward about Rona. Come forward about what? Come forward about what?
Well, the government doesn't know of this mistake. They haven't cut.
Okay, Rona. What mistake? That's what we don't understand. Rona, I don't understand what you're talking about. The government is not aware of what mistake?
Well, I think it's going to be a mistake.
Rona, I don't know what you're talking about. What mistake are you referring to?
There's her minute 55.
Rona, listen. I need to know what you're talking about. You're saying that you got an award of $70,000 and now you're worried about something. What are you worried about?
about going to Social Security.
Okay, about what? About telling them about the money? Did they not find out? Are you afraid they're going to find out and penalize you? What are you afraid of?
Stop filling out anything. I need to get recertified with a lot of things, the state's Medicaid.
Rona.
I don't belong on that either because I won't be having any SSI.
Rona, were you?
I want to back pay them.
Rona, were you?
I want to back pay them.
Rona, were you taken? Did you lose any benefits as a result of this award? Did you lose any benefits?
Not yet.
And you're afraid you may lose benefits? Are you afraid? Rona, why are you calling me? That's what I need to know. You haven't told me a problem. You just said you got $70,000 and you're afraid of something. What? Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, when we go into Social Security to figure out how much back pay I owe them, I'm afraid they'll say you didn't come and report it right away. And then they'll be mad at me.
All right, so Rona, so you were on, what benefits were you on or are on? What benefits?
Well, I have SSDI.
Okay, what else?
I have the SSI.
Okay.
And that's the one that you shouldn't be on it when you're sitting on that much amount of money.
Okay, you're afraid because of this money you're sitting on that you're going to have that taken away or you're going to be penalized. John Fuller works with this a lot when it comes to awards. We'll talk to him right after this.
I honest to God didn't know what she was talking about.
It's not Rona. It's Diana from yesterday.
I know, that's what I said.
Exactly.
I said that on YouTube.
It's Diana's mom.
Same lady.
Right, it's Diana's mom. She sounds exactly like Diana from yesterday.
That wouldn't be, let's say it was injury money, that wouldn't be looked at as income, right? I mean, for tax
It's not taxable if it's
she is not talking about taxes.
No, I get that.
She has needs-based benefits like Medicaid, SSDI, and all that shit.
All right, Become the Banker is an investment strategy. Basically, it's this. It's a tax-free account, meaning you put money in and everything that grows tax-free at 4% guaranteed. That's like getting almost 8% outside of that plan where you pay taxes. But to make a long story short, find out about this opportunity at a website I'm going to give you, along with a guaranteed pension for life. 2 different products you can find out about at 303-779-6600 and the website mymoneymyway.com. Fixmyhome.com. George came to me months ago and said, you're going to have a shortage of ACs and furnaces because of supply chain. I said, I've not heard anything about it. Other people said he's nuts. This is Fix It 24/7. He bought up a bunch of systems. Guess what happened? Supply chains are having problems. You're going to have a problem with furnaces and AC. If you need one, you could end up waiting. Don't wait. They have systems right now at fixmyhome.com, Fix It 24/7, systems starting at just $77 a month. Give them a call, let them check out your system. If you do need one, the time to do it is now. Fixmyhome.com, 720-526-3939. Everyone, and I mean everyone, needs an estate plan. Even ants needs an estate plan. We all do. You can have a simple estate plan, like Deputy Dan, or you can have a complicated estate plan, like Mark. Here's the deal. You need one, and I'm serious. On Mile High Estate Planning now, Blake, HarrisLaw.com, he'll talk to you and answer all of your questions free of charge. And then he has flat rate pricing for whatever he does for you. That's all you need, is whatever he says he will do at flat rates. You don't have to spend a lot of needless time and money. Ask him any question you want. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Can pain and suffering be clawed back by either of those entities? Generally.
The problem is it's never itemized.
Okay.
I mean, it may be by...
But I know what Mark's getting at. For tax reasons, Mark, it may not be taxable.
I don't think any of it's taxable.
None of it is taxable, Tom. It's not a consideration.
But I'm saying,
That's what I said.
they can claw back money for the medical bills that they paid, but could they literally claw back money for pain and suffering if it was broken down? Does that make sense?
It does. If you had a verdict, a jury verdict, where the stuff was itemized out,
Got it.
okay, then Medicare, Medicaid would likely be not able to dip into
that
pocketbook, okay? What she's talking about is
need space.
They have a duty to report that shit in the month that they receive it. Okay, she didn't do that.
But I don't even think they calculate some of that when it comes to SSI.
It's not about the disability stuff, okay? And it's her Medicaid, it's a state-based program that she's probably talking about. But she's on SSDI, and so it's a combination of Medicare and Medicaid. So she's under a dual umbrella of responsibility. One is to the feds and the other is to the state. She didn't go in and tell the state what she got, okay? If she had, she likely could have spent that money down in the first month that she got it, and she would have only been disqualified for 1 month, okay? She didn't do that, so the issue is what are the penalties? I don't fucking know.
We don't think she did. We don't know what she did.
She didn't do it because she's worried about when she does, she's going to go to jail. That's what she's saying now, is I'm scared I'm going to go to jail when I finally go fess up this shit. So she's worried about her government phone that she's out there saying, I got 70 grand and they're going to track me down and go put my ass in jail. They're not. But her benefits could be recouped, like if they paid anything over the last, let's say 7 months has gone by, right? Or whatever the date she says was. They could go back and say, look, you didn't qualify back here, so we're going to exercise our right to get paid back and recoup these benefits.
But just on the Medicaid
for this period of time.
SSDI would still pay out the benefits.
Yeah, they should, but I don't know. I don't do SSDI law, so I don't want to be put in the spot of saying, oh, you're fine on that. I don't fucking touch any of that federal disability shit. But on Medicaid, for all of my clients that have Medicaid, we either make them go sit down and talk to somebody about using a special needs trust or some other vehicle that they can use to kind of help structure some of that shit, shelter it, or if they just insist on not doing it, they get a fancy letter that I had typed up by an attorney that does that just for our ass so that they know this is your obligation and you better fucking comply. If you don't, bad things can happen and that's on you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because the first person they're going to blame is you.
Right. Yep. So, Tom, let me just say something here. I am not an expert on SSI, SSDI, nothing to do with federal. I can talk about I can talk about what happens with Medicaid locally in the state, and that I think is what this lady is truly worried about. She didn't report it, and she's worried that they're going to put her in jail because she didn't report it. That's all. I mean, she's crazy as hell, but that's all she really is.
Spend it down.
You do. If you reported it, she could have spent it in that month and been right back on her benefits. But the question is, she didn't report it for several months. Are they going to have the ability to claw back anything they paid in that time frame? Very likely.
Is it asset-based?
It's needs-based, not asset-based.
So, I mean, when you say she could have spent it, she could have bought something that might keep a value of $70,000.
She could have bought a qualified asset, car, house, something like that.
And that'd be okay.
Income-based, yeah.
So does she have criminal responsibility or just economic
I don't
responsibility?
know if they would ever file that
I
criminal.
mean, it's not that they just want the money back and not put her in jail.
What are they going to do to a poor lady on Medicare?
Did you know that? You can even gift it.
Yeah. Or go to Vegas and do one spin.
But the problem is with these PI awards is the insurance company is reporting them, you know. They report to Medicare and Medicaid. They have a duty under the law to do that. So eventually it's going to come back to haunt this lady. But as the recipient of the benefits, she's got the duty of reporting to them.
So when you accept a benefit from Medicaid in the state of Colorado, it's your duty to report
you have to
any asset
recertify
or
that.
any income you have come.
That's what she does by recertifying.
Yep. Yep, and she just didn't. So she may not have spent a penny of it. This lady could be
that'd be the worst.
Scared, or she could have spent it all. Who knows?
She still has a government.
And how long ago did
That's why she's worried about giving the number over a government phone.
Holy shit! So she could lose her benefits for for over a year plus.
But she hasn't just
paid back what they did.
Do you really think she has it?
Well, she hasn't spent it.
Well,
She
I
paid it
don't
back.
think she spent it.
Ask her what
I'm under the impression she
This
did.
is Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK. Silverleaf Mortgage. If you're looking for a reverse loan 62 or older, silverleafmortgage.com. The difference with Silverleaf, they have a nonprofit foundation separate from their company that they run, that they can give people grants or low interest or no interest loans or grants to fix up their house to get it ready for the appraisal to get the most out of it. Silverleaf Mortgage, reverse loans, silverleafmortgage.com, 720-REVERSE. 720-REVERSE. Now, here's what's going on. Rona, she's nervous because she was awarded damages in a personal injury suit of around $70,000. Rona is on SSDI and SSI, and she hasn't reported it yet, and she's afraid during recertification something bad will happen or her benefits will be taken away or something like that. Is that it in a nutshell, Rona?
Well, mostly it's just that I think they'll want to wonder why I took so long in postponing calling them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's...
all the Social Security offices were closed.
No, Rona.
Pandemic.
Rona, wait, did you... I want to just ask some other questions. Did you spend any of the $70,000?
Oh, very slightly.
Okay. And during that time... how much would you say did you get in any Medicaid coverage?
Oh, I had that. Well, I'm just hoping you're not in trouble there because I think you signed out your recertification before I ever owned the check.
No,
so I might be okay there.
Rona, I just need to know, Rona, did you have any Medicaid claims during that time?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I don't think so.
Okay.
No?
Okay. So let's talk to our personal injury expert who deals with awards all the time. Now, he's not an expert in SSDI or SSI, but in general, he knows a lot about these awards and about needs-based benefits. So, John, what do you think? I'll turn your mic on there.
What I'm afraid
Hold on. Just wait. Listen, Rona.
Why you kept the story on so long and didn't come forward?
All right. Hold on. We get it.
Rona, isn't it?
We get it.
I got you, Rona.
Hold on.
Rona.
I'm so scared that
Okay,
way.
Rona, hold on and listen to what he has to say. We know that you're scared. Okay. We know that you're nervous. Yeah. We know that you're concerned that you did not report it before this. We know all of that, okay? You don't have to keep saying it. We know it. We're with you. We're going to help you. Go ahead, John.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Rona, this is John. So just so I understand, you've been receiving benefits all this while, and you're concerned that the failure to report it is going to somehow put those benefits in jeopardy. Is that right?
No, I actually want off the SSI.
You want to get off of it completely? Okay.
Well, here's what happened. I had already started to call another estate planner lawyer that helps you save your SSI, but I just want to come so straight with them to let them know I didn't intentionally do this.
Okay.
Like it was caused by several things that I don't need to go into.
That's okay, Rona. No one, listen, I don't think anyone is going to come after you because of that.
For fraud?
Right. I don't think so. You tell them you didn't know what to do. It was during the pandemic and you want to come clean. What should you do? But you may not have to give up benefits for a long time. You may just have to pay back what they paid you. I don't know how it works. They're going to have to tell you. I think what we can do is possibly call John over at Integra Insurance. Not that they're experts on this, but they know a lot about it. So, Suze, let's try to get John on from Integra just to chime in if he can. Go ahead.
Fuller will know about, I assume you would, about at least the Medicaid part because that's in the state. What would they typically do in this?
Right. So if you were on Medicaid, being a state, run program, you do have a duty. If anybody receives a settlement, you do have a duty of reporting it to them in the month that you receive the settlement. And because it's a needs-based or an income-based benefit, that could potentially invalidate you, but generally for the month that you receive that money. And so if you receive some good advice, many clients will spend down that money on qualified assets and stuff, and then they don't receive the income the next month, so they're back in qualification. So typically when a client does not report, then the remedy for that is looking at the benefits that were paid over the period that it wasn't reported, and potentially those would get clawed back to that agency. But if you're telling me they didn't pay anything, I don't know what the penalty would be on that, and I don't think they're going to fight you to get off a disability.
Oh, but I was on the full state Medicaid, so they were paying my medical assistance payment once a month.
Okay,
so
but that's not a lot, Rona.
No problem. I'm going to owe up everything that everybody tells me to do.
Okay, but Rona, I don't want you to worry too much. It's not going to be that bad, really. And in fact, we can we can pay.
Did you need the lawyer's name who was going to then help me? But then I just panicked out of my mind.
No, I think you need to sit down with that lawyer and
well, no,
Romero,
I would like to.
And he was going to get me straightened out, but then I thought, you got to get this back pay thing straightened out, and you got to get over being scared. I got scared that the government was going to send me in jail because I didn't report fast enough.
Rona?
See, that's where my
Rona,
comes.
Okay, you've now told us this at least 11 times that you are scared because of not reporting it. Rona, they're not going to consider you a criminal. You didn't know what to do. Don't worry about it. I don't listen, I do not want you going to an attorney, I do not want you going to an estate planning attorney that we don't know, who knows that you got 70 grand and wants a piece of it. I want you to go I want you to go to somebody honest that will help you protect the money if they can, but they won't run up a legal bill, okay? I want you to go to Blake Harris. I want you to go to Blake Harris at Blake Harris Law, and I will talk to him first, and I will have you contact him. And then if there is a legal way, to shelter this, he will know. If there is not, then he will not. In fact, I'll even get him on for a preview if we can, because we have enough time. So if we can get Blake Harris on, we'll talk to him. But don't worry any longer, and we will get you hooked up. Hang on. We'll talk to an attorney, okay?
You so much.
You probably do need legal help if you want to know what to do with that or if there's a way to protect it. But I'm concerned whenever someone like you who is so needy finds someone and they know you just got a settlement. I'm not saying that all attorneys are going to lie and cheat, but I don't know them. How did you find this estate attorney that you found? How did you find him?
Well, when I was having troubles with the Medicare part being paid back from out of the lawsuit, I got the lady at Legal Aid. I can't even remember her name, mentioned him because I asked her.
Well, most likely he's a good guy. But I want you to talk to one of our people first. You don't have to use them, but I want you to have someone you can compare to. So hang on.
Oh, she's so hard to get a word. Yeah, no, I want her as an attorney, John. But, some of these people, if they hear she just got 70 grand, they just want to make sure they're not thinking in their minds, oh, yeah.
But right, he works with Legal Aid. He's probably a good guy.
Yeah, he probably.
Impact traffic.
Yeah, you can only have 2,000 assets for SSI.
Right. In assets, it's not just the needs based for income, then, right? It's not just income.
It says 2,000 assets.
In assets. So SSI is supplemental. But what about SSDI? That's not asset based. That's just income based, right?
Yeah.
Is it only income based, or
I thought she said SSI.
No, she said both SSDI and SSI. They're two different things.
Right.
SSI is simply a supplemental.
I don't think SSDI there is an asset.
Hey, John, do you have people often that are seniors that have needs-based stuff, and
every now and again, I have people on Medicaid for sure. Not so much.
And you warn them what's going to happen, right? I mean,
I'd send them to another attorney and sit them down to get advice on the steps that they have available. And if they insist on doing nothing, they get a.
Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. You know what Frank will do for you? Frank will get you a free market valuation of your home. And here's something you need to know. It's not just a drive-by. We're talking about sitting down with you, measuring, taking pictures, and comparing the neighborhood, the area, the actual sales. I mean, it is so thorough, you're going to be amazed it's free. And don't feel obligated. He is learning the market. He wants to enhance his knowledge of the market. That's why he's doing it. Plus, he hopes if you ever do want to list your home, you think of him. Frank Duran's a genuine guy. And he provides this valuable service, this market valuation. It's way more value than a Zillow. And it's way more intricate than even an appraisal. Yes, an appraisal is official, but most homes now are selling for more than an appraisal. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. I have dealt with Frank at least with 4 or 5 transactions. Mark has used them. We all use them. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Genesis Total Exteriors is a home improvement company we know and trust. I've known him for almost 30 years. Now he has GenesisSolarCO.com as well. The best solar deal in the business for a couple of reasons. First, a 25-year warranty on all components. Then, a 25-year warranty on performance. If the system doesn't perform, if you don't save the money they predict, on a yearly basis, they give you a check to supplement. You own the system, you use all the tax credits for yourself, so there's no complication when you sell your home. That's GenesisSolarCO.com, 720-667-4760, 720-667-4760. Mark?
I'm going to tell you a very scary story, but it's got a happy ending. This person called up a plumbing company to come out. They had a stopped-up drain. It just wouldn't drain. They got it a little fixed, so this company, they said they snaked it out. They put a camera down there. They told these guys, here's where it gets scary. You need a sewer line repair. It's going to be $20,000. Well, thank goodness they listened to the show. They called up Master Rooter. These guys own their own excavation company, so if they did need a sewer line, they would have saved them a ton of money. But guess what? Master Rooter went out there. They cleaned the line out. They ran the camera. The people never needed a sewer line. There are so many rip-offs in that industry. If anybody ever tells you you need a sewer line, Master Rooter Plumbing, free second opinion, free camera, the whole bit, they're going to help you out. 720-434-3406. Seriously, write this number down. It's important if anybody ever says that. 720-434-3406.
John, do you have a boat? Little ones or big? Or what's the biggest?
30 foot.
Oh, wow. What do you use it for?
Next my offshore boat in Florida.
For fishing?
Diving, fishing.
Do you have a fishing bridge?
A fishing bridge.
You know, where with the thing on it and everything that you fish off of?
No, I don't bridge fish.
Huh?
I don't bridge fish.
What is bridge fish?
Standing on a bridge and lowering your line down.
No, I meant on the boat. You know the pedestal they have on the. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I have a 30-foot center console offshore boat.
For fishing.
Yeah. We have outriggers. And
I didn't mean bridge fishing. Well, I used to bridge fish. That's the only way I know about you people down in the Keys. I couldn't afford it. We would go into the Hudson River, man, from the. Well, it was actually an offshoot. It was the creek, and we would, you know what? We would catch
most polluted river in the world.
Well, not when I was younger, but man.
Still, no, the Hudson isn't bad.
You know these big. I'm trying to think what they call these things. These big ocean. We used to charter them. You know, you would go out for a day. Huh? But they had these big giant, I don't know, I call it a bridge. It was a big pedestal on top with a big pole. You'd go up and.
Oh, you're thinking of he's thinking of blue fishing and stuff.
Or
like
big
that.
game, or not big game.
You basically go out and you drop the line, though. You're not going way out.
That's right. They help you.
I've been blue fishing like that.
That is my boat.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's only 30 feet long.
Does it have GPS?
Yes.
Don't they all now? I mean, shit, you can buy it.
You have a platform on the back for when you dive so you can get back up, or just a ladder?
Big ladder.
Yeah.
And what's the smallest? What do you have? Little ones? Just little.
I have a 30. I have a 21-foot boat in Wyoming, and I have a little 18-foot in Florida as well for that country stuff. So,
Like, what do you mean that? Like going through like the Everglades or whatever?
Yeah, Bayside.
There's the one with the big fan on it.
No. Have you ever ridden on an airboat?
I think I have actually, but I don't remember it. I think I have. I mean, it's just
They
look cool.
They all have their own purpose.
They just let Mark talk. That's enough air to get the boat going. They don't even fan.
I lived right near there, right near Alligator Alley. You know, I used to drive that to visit my sister. And then when I started flying, I would fly it, but I was actually more scared flying it. Because I mean, seriously,
looking down like, what the hell would I do if I put this thing down?
I'd be alligators. I was more afraid of alligators. I mean,
there's a lot of
it would bring right to you.
So you could go on.
What's going on?
You could go on Naked and Afraid.
So I would go down. I went down a couple times to like 400 feet, 300 feet. We'd be skimming along. But
you don't have alligators where you're at, though, do you?
Crocodiles. Okay. We do have a few.
You have crocodiles?
We have alligators
about the Keys, so
about
he's not in the Keys.
20 miles across
he gets mad when I say he's in the Keys.
I'm in the Keys. I'm not in Key West.
Oh, okay. All right, got it.
You have crocodiles, really?
You're so fucking technical.
No, it's not. It's 90 miles away.
That string's that long?
The string is 130 miles.
How many islands make it up?
The Florida Keys, how long? 130 miles?
Yeah, from the mainland.
Holy shit. A ball string of islands.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, now, we got to get Melinda. I'm so sorry, Melinda. I'm so sorry you had a second question. You have to accept my apologies. And you were the one that had Section 8 housing. You got ripped off for that $300. We are so sorry about that. But I want to know what else is on your mind.
Well, I've lived in a coalition building for 8 years, and I was homeless. I dated a drug guy and ended up homeless for a little bit and didn't make it very well. Was in the hospital for 45 days. Couldn't use my legs, and so I got picked up by the coalition. Was in transitional housing at the Beacon.
What's your question?
West Colfax. Well, anyways, I really don't have a question. It's just I really haven't had any. My boyfriend and I really haven't had any assistance in getting out of this low income housing. I mean, we finally got our voucher, but it's just, you see what happened with me using the voucher for the first time.
Hey, Melinda, how did you, wait, I want to know more about that. You paid with a voucher, this guy?
It's to a Section 8 voucher, yes.
How did you do that? How does that work? How does that work?
Well, I paid the deposit.
Okay.
And then I paid the application fee, but then the voucher pays your rent, and you pay.
Wait, but you didn't give him the voucher, right?
No, I didn't give him the voucher.
You still have the voucher, right?
I still have the voucher.
We need to find her a place to take Section 8. So
we would like. That's what we would like to do. We would like to try to help you find a place because you said you're having a tough time. Now, let me ask you, how old are you, Melinda?
I'm 53.
Do you work or are you disabled?
I'm disabled. I got a prosthetic leg, but I also am his relative aide.
What area do you want to live in? Maybe if we find her something too, we can work out this $300.
And your boyfriend? What about your boyfriend? Tell me about him.
He's 60 and he's on SSDI.
Does he help you?
Yeah, we're like cohabitating.
Are you allowed to cohabitate and use your Section 8 if you have someone living with you?
Yes.
You are allowed.
I'm actually on his Section 8.
Okay.
So we have a voucher together.
So right now, if you could find Section 8, you have a voucher to pay. Is that right?
Open Section 8.
I do. Yeah, and it's $15.24 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath,
And that's with the utilities included, like water,
So
gas,
let me ask
sewage.
you how this works. It's for $15 something a month, and then if you found something for $17 or something, do you pay the difference? Is that how it works?
No, you can't do that. It's a cap. It's $15.24.
Okay, that means
$1,400 to $1,450 with the utilities.
So that
I want to move out to like the Cherry Creek school areas out by my kids.
Melinda,
or Parker.
Listen, if you find a place, though, using this voucher, here's what I'm asking. Will it pay 100% of your rent?
Up to what she just said, the $1,500.
Will it?
What would?
Melinda, I'm asking you, will it pay the entire $1,500 toward your rent, but you're not allowed to pay more than that? Is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't pay the $1,524. We pay 30% of our income towards the $1,524.
Okay, and $1,524 is the max. Got it. So
that is the max.
So what with 30? So what is roughly 30% of your income?
$621.
Okay, so if you pay $621, they pay the difference.
That's correct.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to pay the 30% to get a place?
Oh yeah. We've been paying the 30% on. We have the voucher, but this is a HCV voucher, which is a housing choice voucher. It's the same as Section 8, but you can move outside of low income housing.
Okay. So, but does it have to be approved, the housing, or can any landlord decide to take it?
As long as the landlord decides to take it, yeah.
I understand, but if a landlord right now wants to take you, and he doesn't have to go through any special process, does he?
He does. I have a housing counselor through the Coalition for the Homeless.
Can you get me the name and number of your housing counselor?
Absolutely.
Good.
I have it.
We're gonna try to help you find a place, Melinda. Hold on. We're gonna try to help you.
Definitely. So let's get that info. Doc, why don't you talk to her counselor?
Okay.
And I don't understand if she has Section 8 or something else at the end of that.
Well, it sounds like if there's a place with the most that they can charge rent is $1,584, for which she's responsible for $600, and then the voucher will pay the other $900. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's Section 8. That's all I'm saying.
No, she said it's different. It's
Yeah.
different.
So if we find her a Section 8 place, they might not take what she's talking about.
Yeah, but what she's talking about is open, meaning that they can
take it if they want.
Yeah, but what they have to agree to is a max of $1,584. That's with utilities, and she only has to pay 30% of their income, and they'll pay the rest.
I wonder if they take 30% of her income out, and then she's got the full voucher, or does she pay the landlord?
Well, it doesn't matter either way.
Well, it might to the landlord.
Oh, right, to the landlord.
QCcolorado.com. That's the website I want you to go to find out about this, okay? In fact, I'd like you to go and see the diagrams and read the article in my digital consumer magazine. You can download it to 303consumer.com. What you're going to see is my article on QC Colorado. That's Quiet Cool. Now, what is Quiet Cool? It's a whole house fan. Now, don't mistake this for an attic fan. This is a whole house fan. It's designed to cool your house down in the morning and in the evening. So your air conditioner doesn't work that hard. In fact, you can leave your air off all day and then in the evening turn this on and it cools your house down in no time. Then you turn your air on, your air works less. I've been saving money for 2 years now with this. Like my air conditioning works 10% of the time, meaning a 90% savings. I'm serious. I love this. QCcolorado.com. 303-800-3419. It takes less than 2 hours to install. No inside wall wiring because it's all remote controlled. 303-800-3419. That's QCcolorado.com. Take me out to the ball game.
Yeah, it's this weekend, Tom. This is it. If you want tickets to the All-Star game, you got to get them now. They're going to have all kinds of celebrities. They're going to have a softball game. You're going to see the superstars of tomorrow this weekend. You're going to see MLB, Rockies legends, the country's biggest celebrities. Go to allstargame.com for tickets. It's this weekend. allstargame.com.
Attention timeshare owners. Did some high-pressure salesperson twist your arm into buying a timeshare? Did they forget?
I was telling Ross that the reason they're advertising so much is because people don't want to buy the full package.
Oh, they'll sell them. It'll sell pretty good.
But all the people I know that have season tickets.
Well, a lot of it, what happens, Doc, is like Sirius XM, iHeart, they're all media companies.
Right.
The reason there's so many advertisements is that's their trade on them.
Right. But the regular people the people who have season tickets aren't cashing in on it because they have to buy the whole package and it's too expensive.
I'm going to a fantasy camp.
You are in a fantasy camp.
I know. Kramer's entire world's a fantasy. People should pay to live his life for a week.
Is it piss off you guys?
He falls.
Doesn't work.
He falls into money. Doesn't work.
Girlfriend.
And has sex with everybody.
Hey Mark, I went to pick my son up at the airport yesterday. There must have been 5 or 6 guys holding up signs that that were begging for money.
At the airport?
No, on the different streets, at stoplights.
Yeah.
I'm thinking every freaking place in Denver, in the country, is looking for help. Why don't these guys get a freaking job?
Well, because they get free there and they get their unemployment.
Nah, they don't get unemployment.
I'll bet you they do.
Most of those guys don't qualify for unemployment. They haven't had a job forever, Dan. You got to fucking qualify to get the extra 300.
I'll bet you half the ones out there get.
Okay, we're going to go talk to 10 today. Okay, and what's the bet? What's the bet? I'm going to pick out 10 fucking homeless.
I'll let you win a whole day in racquetball.
You still have, in order to get the $300, you still got to qualify.
I will bet you.
You have to have worked so many quarters. Most of these people haven't worked for fucking years.
But it just drives me crazy. And there's a McDonald's right across the street with the "We Are Hiring" sign.
Yeah, but come on, Doc. Some of these people that are pushing the shopping carts, they can't work.
No, I'm talking about guys that look like they're between 20 and 40.
Yeah. Like Dan, just fucking hobos.
Right. That look like they could hold down a job.
He used to ride the rails back in the day with the actual stick and the bandana and the shit in it.
That's well, he was probably one of Woody Guthrie's associates.
I had my banjo.
Playing the banjo.
You and Woody were just strumming along on the track.
The bigger guys would make them do stuff in the train that we're not going to talk about. He told me once, man, you think jail's bad. Wait till you've been riding the rails.
Well, I'm taking that bet back. I'm not going to let you win anything.
I'll tell you, when I was out in Ontario, California, not Canada, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they have those young homeless you're talking about. I mean, these kids are, if they have mental problems, I mean, they got it real quick because they're like 8 or so, and I guarantee they weren't in Vietnam.
They're here.
Well, Dan thought...
Not like out there, though.
Dan thought when he became an engineer, he could drive those choo-choo trains. So he found that was a different job.
Yeah, Dan told us he was an engineer when he came on. He didn't tell us he worked at Elitch's on that kid's train.
That's why he got that shirt just because of that, because he wanted to be an engineer.
I haven't worn that well. I'll start wearing that again. My daughter got me one. It says Biden. It's a picture of Biden sniffing Kamala's hair. Just a big thing of it. And it says, the sniffer picker of her.
I think you should get one with a bunch of sheep on it with masks.
I'd wear it around. I'd wear it in Douglas County. I don't think I'd wear that in Denver. You're asking for something.
Like nothing for months.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mike's got a stolen motorcycle. Mike, I'm so sorry for the wait. What's going on with you? Mike, did we finish with Melinda on the yes, we did, right? She's gonna I know what we're gonna do with Melinda. Hold on one sec, Mike. Wait. I know what we were gonna do, Melinda. She hung up.
I'm gonna talk to her
that was my fault.
Okay, hold on. You're gonna talk to her housing counselor, right?
Correct.
And Melinda, I wanted to tell her something, but we can do that next hour, or we can do it next time we talk to her. Whatever you can fit in there is good. Mark and I came up with some ideas. Okay, Mike, so with your motorcycle, what's going on?
So I'm calling on behalf of a friend. He lives in Lone Tree in an apartment complex with a secured garage basement. His motorcycle was stolen on 4th of July.
Wait, he has a garage in his basement, did you say?
No, the apartment complex.
Oh, okay. So it's an underground garage.
Secure, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely secure, cameras and everything. So his motorcycle was stolen, and he doesn't have any insurance on it, liability only. He have homeowners or renters insurance, but it's because it's an apartment. They won't cover the motorcycle.
Well, they wouldn't cover it anyway, even if it was a house. No renter's policy will cover a vehicle. So what's going on?
So the question is, can he take the apartment complex to court?
Why?
Because it was supposed to be secure, because it's locked, secured, camera, and everything.
Now, Mike, here's the deal, Mike, and I'm going to let John weigh in on this. He's the expert, he's the attorney, but I'm going to give my attempt to answer this as I would, and if he wasn't here. Here's what the way I look at it. If they breached something, if they did something wrong, okay, negligent, for example, like put up a sign, cars down here, nobody's watching. I don't know. If they were stupid, or they hired a security guard with a criminal record, if they somehow did something stupid and contributed, they could be negligent. But if they breached a duty, that would be a different thing.
Wait, I got to throw something in before John. I think a lot of it's going to come back to the lease, and it's going to be written out in the lease. They're not responsible for crap.
What I'm saying is, if they breached a duty to you, now it could be that they disclaim a bunch of stuff in a lease. By the way, parking is your own responsibility. Don't leave anything valuable. We're not responsible, blah, blah, blah. But you say it's supposed to be secure, blah, blah, blah. So let's say they advertise, and one of the things they get you to do to rent, they advertise secure parking, surveillanced, and they actually go further and they create a bailment, or they create some kind of an expectation, then that could be used against them. That's my amateur answer. John, could it be breach or negligence?
Real quick, can I ask this final question?
Well, let him answer this first. Let him answer this first. Do you think the apartment complex could be in breach or negligent?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Only if they somehow created a bailment where they assumed responsibility for the security of the motorcycle, but it's very unlikely that actually happened.
And they could have disclaimed it in a lease.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, what did you want to say, Mike? We'll continue you in a couple minutes.
What if the camera shows a tenant allowing somebody to follow in behind them that could have prevented the theft? Can that person be sued?
The tenant themselves? Oh, that's interesting. Actually, it's interesting. You would think no, but hold on. Let's explore that. If you actually know someone. Hold on.
I don't know. I mean, let's put it this way. If I was at the airport, you need a card to get in, and I saw on surveillance that a guy let somebody come in behind him, I would be pissed if they went over and fucking robbed my hangar. I would be pissed. I don't know if I could do anything against
I know, but he didn't know the guy behind him that had a card also.
That's right.
Well, how would he even know that they stole it?
You want to know what I do? When I'm going in and somebody behind me, I go, sure I do. I wait.
You're that guy.
And I wait for
You're that guy.
I don't like that guy.
I wait for it to close.
No, I think that's the
They do it at toll booths, too?
And they do it to me, too, because just like you said, if they do have now, if I know the guy, that's different. I'll wave to him, give him the finger.
Give him a wave.
You just make me think of Tiger Run. When I pull up to there, man, that gate is so fucking slow. If I can get in behind a car that's in there, man, I don't even fuck around.
Yeah,
I'll tag right behind it.
It'd be like 3 minutes to go shut it again.
Not only that, if their card key's not working, you got to get out of your fucking unit and walk around to open it. But you'd be that guy that would make me wait.
I do the same thing in my community.
If I don't know him, I do.
Yeah, I will just pull up halfway. So the gate, right into the gate. Okay, so next homeless guy, I want you to go ask him he's on unemployment, and then go home with him and get his paperwork.
Conclude on August 31st. The drawdown.
Biden's saying that's all Trump's fault as far as getting out of Afghanistan.
Oh, he said, we don't go back on anything we sign with other countries. Yeah, right. And then that reporter who happened to be from the AP turns around and goes, how about this,
Did they really?
this?
Did they?
Oh, I gotta listen to this one.
It was pretty good, man.
That's good.
It was like the climate deal we just signed.
The Iran deal.
Something with Mexico.
Right.
It was everything, man. And they're like,
Hey, I'll get back with you next week.
hold on, I don't have talking points on anything that you guys really said.
Look in my pocket here.
I gotta listen to that one. I tell you, he's a bumbling fool. He's a cartoon character. He really is. He's Mr. Magoo.
In the UK, some international travelers.
All right, what are the odds on, is Rona going to keep her shit in check for Blake Harris, or is she going to start all over again with
She's
the
going to start all over again. She's a motor mouth.
Actually, I'd like to see her and Blake in a room together.
Oh, man.
Because Blake, when he's in, man, he's like,
he's
a young whippersnapper, man. For 3-4 hours, he's like this the whole time, standing up.
Like, yeah, he has high energy.
And with her next, I mean, geez, that would be something to videotape.
That would be good.
So he did all my trust stuff, but I dealt with his paralegal. I mean, honestly, he's a great guy and he's putting it all together. But his paralegal, I actually liked a lot. I mean, you know, and on a trust, all she's doing is gathering it and he looks over. It's not like it's litigation or something. I'd like to see him litigate though in front of the judge and the jury. I mean, how's the jury look at this?
And you already called Mary.
I spoke to her.
Yeah, he does.
I would come back later.
I think he'd get up.
Oh, okay, you told her that? Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
thought you meant right after the show, so I was like, oh, it sounds like he'll be there right after the show, so I'm glad you clarified.
And you sent me Melinda's information too. I'll call her after.
Listen, you know, I'll get her in check. I'd get her in check, you know. Guaranteed.
Of course, you know, that's one thing. In person, it's a lot easier to say.
You're muted for a second.
You keep your phone, keep your number. You just have to swap out your SIM card. You get
That was it? That was it? I big line?
I wouldn't even say that out there anymore.
I told him this morning, I admit, it was one of the funniest things. I'd never heard that before.
I never did either. That was one of the funniest fucking things way back.
How did I use that?
I think a caller called in. I'm pretty sure a caller called in, and I think it was a guy, and he was saying something about, he was basically saying that he was,
No,
I didn't want to go there. I just didn't want to go there.
These days.
Yeah. No, it's fucking nuts. It's so fucked up.
No, I would like, I would like to design T-shirts because I'd like to have a whole bunch of sheep with all masks on, just like, you know. You see these guys still.
I bet you could find that on Amazon.
You think?
Yeah.
They have open windows. Driving down the street with a mask on?
What is ivermectin used for?
What?
What is ivermectin used for?
Don't know. She is too bad. What medicine is it?
Sheep with mask.
Don't know. You know, I listen to a lot on Sirius, that doctor show, whatever. They still wear masks.
There you go. Look, man.
They still wear masks. The doctors in the show, giving the radio program, knowing they're both vaccinated in the studio.
This one's pretty good. Look.
They constantly say that. We're still wearing masks in the studio.
Look at that one.
Good sheep.
Well, you know what the thinking is, Dan, that if you're vaccinated and you get the Delta variant, you're going to be asymptomatic, but you can spread it to somebody who's not vaccinated. That's the current thinking.
What is it again, Doc?
So if you're vaccinated, right, and you get infected with the Delta variant.
Why do you think it would infect you, though?
No, you get the virus, but you don't get sick. It's just in your system.
But why? I haven't heard him say that, is all I'm saying.
Okay, but that's what they're thinking. So that if you
this variant's so different, the vaccine will make it to where you don't get sick from it, but yet you'll get it. But it's not the same.
You might have the virus in your body, and so when you breathe, you can give it to somebody who isn't vaccinated.
So if you're walking down the hall,
well, wouldn't that be their problem?
Without a bubble,
exactly.
you could hurt your head.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just telling you. You should wear a football helmet because you can walk around and get your head into the wall. I'm just telling you the crazy.
No, that's not a bad analogy.
I mean, to me, they're going. Where do you stop? Where do you stop? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's. I agree. But where do you stop?
The one that kills me is if you have antibodies. All the tests that they've done now show it doesn't matter if you got the antibodies naturally because your body fought it off, or if you got them created because of the vaccine. There's no fucking difference.
No,
it's not like one antibody's better than the other.
No, it's the same protein.
I think the reason they tell people that had it to get vaccinated, and I'm not kidding. You know how many people I've ran into that told me they had COVID but they never got a test? We have a neighbor said they got it 3 times. I don't think they got it at all. No, but they won't get the vaccine because they think they got it.
Oh, they were never tested for it. They just said they got it.
Yeah, they just think they got it.
I got the flu vaccine as soon as I could, and I had the worst case of COVID. Just think, you had it in the hospital for, 2.5 weeks? Yeah. Me and Tom was right there. Neither one of us got it. Right. Because of our supplements.
And you were sneezing. We definitely weren't social.
Troubleshooter's gonna help a common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Renew Home Innovations for custom beautiful showers or tub shower combinations. Shubs. That's a good name for a shub tower. Anyway, renewhomeinnovations.com. One thing here I need to tell you. Low maintenance, no maintenance. It's wonderful. They are beautiful showers, custom made for you. They start them the next day if you want, and you can get them done quickly. And that's renewhomeinnovations.com. On my referral list, at referrallist.com, special pricing for seniors and for veterans. Now, let's go to the phones. I want to take this real quick. Mike, we started it. His friend's motorcycle was stolen from a secure underground parking garage at the apartment complex. Who's responsible? Well, first of all, the apartment complex would have to have contributed in some way by being negligent to be blamed for this, or they would have had to have broken a promise that you relied on. Like, it's going to be secure, we're going to watch it, you have nothing to worry about, blah, blah, blah. Most likely they didn't do that. So John Fuller said most likely they wouldn't be responsible. Mike, but you said if a security camera showed that a guy was pulling in and somebody pulled in behind him without using an access code or card, could you hold that homeowner responsible? Are you saying this, Mike? Are you saying that you know for sure the person who followed in that person was the thief?
Well, they have video documentation inside the garage and at the entrance. So yeah, they have a well-documented person entering the building, getting on the motorcycle and leaving, and that person followed in behind somebody else.
Wow. They actually have the thief following someone in and stealing the motorcycle.
Yeah,
so
but
was this thief in a car?
I don't know that.
Well, because he got on a motorcycle. I want to know what happened to the vehicle. If he followed him through in a vehicle, did he leave the vehicle there, or did he follow him through on foot, or what was? Do you know the circumstance?
I just know that they have documentation of the person entering the building, stealing the motorcycle and leaving, and they're basically a piggyback scenario of another tenant because it's an apartment complex.
But how do they know they were associated with the other tenant?
Yeah, that's what how do you know? How do you know?
No, the tenant failed to stop, and make sure that the garage door was closed before he proceeded.
But how do we know the thief? But how do we know the thief went through that open garage door?
The entry camera.
The entry camera shows the tenant applying the code, entering the garage, and somebody piggybacking right behind him because that tenant did
he piggyback on foot or in a vehicle?
Vehicle.
Okay, what happened to that vehicle if that guy got on a motorcycle and left? Does a camera show that vehicle leaving?
No, like two people in the car. One drove the car back out. The other one got on the motorcycle.
Oh, no, but does it, I mean, the car, I'm saying, if it's somebody who lives there, does it show that car leaving?
No, he's not involved. He just failed to make sure that they...
Sir, you're not listening. You're not, Mike, listen, man. What I'm saying is this, okay? Really simple. One car went in and opened the door. Another car followed. Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, where is the other car that followed? Did it stay there? Did it leave?
No.
No what?
It left.
Okay, so they had video of it leaving.
Yes, the driver of the car drove out in the car. The passenger got out.
Right, I get it. No, I get it. That makes sense. That's all I need to know. Now, I need to know if any of these, can you see a license plate at all on it?
No, I don't think there was any.
I want to just cut to the chase. I don't think that first guy,
the tenant,
would have any liability. I mean, you can sue anybody for anything, but I can't imagine.
You could argue.
Sounds crazy.
I don't know. You could argue they're negligent, and that their negligence caused. I don't know. I mean, John, what do you think?
I think it would fail on foreseeability.
You would? On foreseeability, meaning I didn't know that would cause this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't let the guy in. He just snuck in behind me. I didn't know the guy was back there fixing to jump the gate.
Can you imagine if we could hold normal people responsible for other people's actions? Oh, that's exactly what that would be.
Yep. Well, okay, but let's take it a step further. What if what if truly you're supposed to have a card to get through your apartment complex or to get into the lobby? You get in, somebody behind you, you let in, and that person pulls out a machete.
That's not negligence anymore, Tom. You did it on purpose.
Oh, but if okay, so you're saying that this driver. Wait a minute. No, that means a lot. It's not negligence. So would if I let the guy through on purpose, but I didn't know what he was going to do, and he did something bad, would I be responsible?
Well, that's the issue of foreseeability.
Right.
You know, listen, you can't just be held liable for something that's not foreseeable. Okay, so and foreseeability also goes along with this idea of consent. Like, did he let the car in? Did the car just rush the gate after he went through? Did he even know the car went through? I mean, what level of collusion are you willing to infer here about this guy letting another one through the gate?
No, let's just say it was total. He was just
then he didn't do anything wrong. He just punched his code and drove through like he was minding his own business.
Yeah.
In that case, I think if somebody jumped the gate behind him, he can go whatever, but that doesn't impose a duty on him. What's he supposed to do? Go block the guy into a thing until he can check his ID and call the cops? Right. No, that's not reasonable. They're going to turn and go in a different direction.
I appreciate you guys' help. I was just trying to help a friend.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Mike, you understand, but you do understand this is a good discussion. That's why we're having it. I mean, people
agree.
People are always looking for liability or collectability. They always want someone to go after. That's true, Mike, and there's nothing wrong with discussing it. Now, Elaine, what's going on with you, Elaine?
Hi. I have a friend, someone I had been with for 31 years, had passed away last year. He was hit by an uninsured motorist when he was in a crosswalk. He was working. And long story short, she had no insurance, so he had State Farm uninsured motorist. And when I contacted them, because I'm the sole beneficiary on the will and I'm supposed to take care of debts and all that kind of stuff, they said, well, because he was older, he was 65 but still working, and he was at the time, they said, well, we kind of prorated. I said, excuse me? I was at a loss on this one.
What do you mean prorated?
Well, if he was a 15-year-old kid that had gotten hit and killed, okay, you can get up to $250,000 per accident per person. And or else if you're 65 years of age, and I'm very surprised by this because nobody else seems to have known about this, that they devalue. Maybe that's the problem.
Well, okay, so the man died.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was in his 60s and he died, and they're saying that the death benefit or the damages for death paid under the uninsured motorist coverage is less because he's older.
Right.
Okay, John?
Absolutely false. 100% not true. Was he killed in the accident?
Well, he was hit in January of last year, but he lived 2 months in the hospital.
But
so
did he die
Did
he die of injuries sustained in the crash?
Yep, he never regained consciousness. He had all kinds of brain injuries.
The bigger problem that I think you're going to have is that the fact that you're the beneficiary of the will doesn't make you the proper party under the wrongful death statute. If you're not his spouse, you're not going to necessarily be able to bring that claim. Being in the will doesn't get you there. But the part about some allocation of whatever based on his age, that's just made up.
Hey, John,
that's
does
ridiculous.
a personal representative have the right to fight for the estate?
They do, but the estate loses certain portions of the claim. So in a wrongful death case, you've got there's different kinds of wrongful death cases, okay? The estate may still have a claim for some of the economic losses, but all of the non-economic losses go away. So the estate would not be the proper party. Only the surviving party that has the right under the statute can get all of the other other types of damages.
And if there wasn't a spouse, who would that be? The next of kin?
It could be a child. It could be a parent.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a sibling.
Right, Elaine. He doesn't have anybody, but that doesn't mean you get to do it. If you're the personal representative, you would be in line for economic damages, right?
The estate might be in line for it, but not her in particular.
I understand, but as personal representative, she would fight for the estate.
She could bring a claim on behalf of the estate, but that wouldn't necessarily make her a proper party for wrongful death, and those two are separate.
No, we get it, because the wrongful death would be a non-economic?
Well, it would have a number of different damages, but it's a statutory identified party, Tom, is the key. It's got to be a special party. It either needs to be a spouse, a child,
what about a business
parent.
partner? If you were in business with someone, could that be? No?
You are not one of the proper parties unless you're married to him.
Okay. Key man insurance.
That'd be an insurance.
Now, as far as Elaine, what's that? What did you ask?
Because a will.
Why have a will if they ignore it? Because
but they're not ignoring it,
Elaine.
Elaine.
Ignoring it. The property was not owned by him at the time of his passing. Okay?
Hold on, Elaine. What do you mean by ignoring it? What are they ignoring?
Well, State Farm says you're not next of kin. I said I understand that. They said, what is your relationship with him? And I explained everything.
Are you the personal representative, Elaine, of the estate?
Yes, I'm not only the personal representative, I'm the sole beneficiary. And I said, these are persons' last wishes when they die, when they can't speak for themselves anymore, that are supposed to be honored. And it was done by an attorney, so it was all proper.
No, hold on. So what last wishes are you talking about?
That everything goes to her.
Well, like if you made out a will, like anybody
But
does.
what last wish are you talking about? That all his assets go to you?
Yeah, technically, that's
okay, but no one is ignoring that, Elaine.
I'm not trying to do that.
Elaine, no one is ignoring that.
She just doesn't understand the standing.
Too many voices right now. No one is ignoring that. No one is ignoring that. No, they're not. No, they're not. Here, listen, you're ignoring what we're saying. You are entitled to everything that he has on this earth that he wants to leave to you. You are not necessarily entitled to bring a lawsuit for wrongful death. Now, had he brought a lawsuit or on that and was awarded an award for something and it was in his estate, then you would be that would be yours.
You would get it.
But just because you get what he has doesn't mean you have standing to go after what he doesn't have.
And we're not saying you don't have standing.
You pay for an insurance all these decades, the same as I did. And then they say in the end, well, okay, somebody's not worth that.
Hold on. Elaine, hang on. Because, again, you're saying the same thing over and over and over. We agree that you are the sole beneficiary. That doesn't give you standing necessarily in a lawsuit.
So it's easier than that, Tom. There are certain of your claims that you may have that die with you and can't be passed along to any other person, regardless of the decedent's wishes, okay? So all of the non-economic claims, which mean pain and suffering and quality of life and all of the intangible things that the person may have had, they die with you. They go away. Literally, they don't exist anymore.
The dead can't suffer pain and suffering.
The estate can't go get them. They're just gone. Okay?
They're gone.
So that, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the reality of it. They just went away without any respect to the amount of insurance or her will. Okay?
But the award she can get...
If she had status as one of the statutorily identified people, then she would have a claim, but she wasn't married to the guy. So regardless of his wishes,
and
his
that
age,
claim
or
would
his
be
insurance,
for what? That claim would be for what?
That would be all of the damages suffered by the next of kin in intestacy laws of Colorado.
All right, more coming up.
There is somewhat of an obvious question. Did they live together for 31 years?
Look, it wouldn't matter.
Well, if they filed taxes together? So they're, okay. If they held themselves out as married?
Truly were common law. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, she wasn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think she would have fucking said that.
She goes after I explained to him our relationship. I don't know what the hell she was talking about.
I think that she was the executor and the beneficiary.
She was, you know, we don't need to even read into it. She wasn't the spouse. She's not holding herself out as a spouse. You know, that's all that really matters. And listen, I had a case one time.
Okay, guys. Century RV, new and used RVs, and they have great values. In fact, people come from all over the country to see Century RV. Century RV has 2 locations. They have that new big giant liquidation showroom, that indoor showroom just west of Denver, north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's. CenturyRV.com, 303-453-1111. And they have service department up north, so check Century RV for all your RVs. That's Class A's, pop-ups, bumper trailers, fifth wheels, whatever you want, they have. CenturyRV.com. All right, if you want to sell your house, you can list it and sell it conventionally, or you can sell it tomorrow and get a check. How do you do that? You call Homefesters. Now, Homefesters are the quick and dirty people. They just come in and buy it. You don't have to do anything. No inspections, no tire kickers, okay? There's no commissions paid, nothing. They just write a check. So you may think, they're never going to pay what I want. But you'll never know that without calling. In fact, there's absolutely no obligation. So no matter what, if I'm listing a home, I'm always going to call them. I'm always going to call them. 800-44-BUYER. See what they offer. Nothing to lose. 800-44-BUYER. Okay, I'm a patient of ColoradoPainCare.com. You can do. Here's what you do. You go online, you fill it out, they get in touch with you, they pull all your medical records. If you have pain, call them. They're people of action and compassion. What I mean by that is, by the time I got there, they already familiarized themselves with my case. They looked at imaging, whatever you have. If you've been to doctors before, they work with all the major clinics. They work with all doctors. They work with all insurance. Just call them and get started. You don't have to live another day in pain. Of course, all major insurance. And it covers most of it. 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN.
Hey, John. So
your timeshare
you're the 30-year-old orthopedic surgeon who's driving his nanny home. Okay? They get killed in a car accident. Is the payment the same?
No.
Because that's what I'm asking. Because of the earning potential.
Correct.
They would have different payouts, right? So what if you have a 70-year-old guy and a 30-year-old person? Aren't the payouts different because of their age, because of their potential earnings? Or one is...
If we're talking about economic damages, yeah, maybe. Right. I mean, he's not going to live till 100.
Right.
Right? So certainly, lifetime earnings potential is going to be different for those two people. Well, that's just the economic difference in those things.
Right. That's what I was trying to...
But one of the things, hold on. But the reason I think you're asking is because when she said they want to offer less because he was older, and you said that's absolutely false.
That's bullshit.
Okay, so explain that. Because we know that a 90-year-old doesn't necessarily get a bunch of claim.
Hold on. She's talking strictly about his UM policy.
That's right.
So let's say he had a nice little 250 policy, right? Look, they're gonna, oh, if she was the proper party. Now, she's not. I mean, no two fucking ways about it. She's not the proper party. So, but all that bullshit told her is just malarkey, okay? And I had a case one time where I represented the brother of a dude that got killed on Colfax, okay? Drunk driver, whacked him, done, bad case. The only living person in the world that was his next of kin was his brother, okay? A brother is not a proper party under the wrongful death statute, okay? Mother, father, any sibling or any children, right? Not brothers, not lateral kin relationship, okay?
I didn't know that.
But the carrier fucked up and offered us policy limits on it, okay? Didn't check it out with counsel. They fucked it up. They offered it to us. It went to state counsel to write it up. She said, not no, but hell no. He's not a proper party. And I said, bullshit. We got a deal. And they lived up to it and they paid.
John, the two kinds of claims we always talk about are economic and non-economic.
Wrongful death. Wrongful death is a little different.
Okay, so which one are they? With a wrongful death,
well,
what do you take into consideration?
When he died, the only potential claim, I know, I'm telling you, when he died, okay, the case evolved, okay? Now any economic claims could only be brought by his estate, okay? But the wrongful death statute is a derivative action, okay? Those damages are separate and far away from economic and non-economic. Those go away, okay?
Both of those go away?
Both
economic and non-economic.
The non-economic claims that might have existed for the decedent die with him.
Right. What about the economic?
The economics are potentially alive for the estate only.
Right.
Okay. The wrongful death is for the loss of the relationship.
Okay.
The loss
got it.
The consortium, all
It's
the other
different.
stuff.
And
they're always valued the same.
It's called a derivative claim.
It's like a third classification of loss.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So that's a derivative claim, and it's and the people that can bring it are identified in the statute. And it's different. So the laws of intestacy say a brother's good.
Right.
The laws of the wrongful death statute say no, not so.
But when it comes to the actual economic, non-economic, not in a death, but just in damages, economic, non-economic.
So
uninsured motorists
bring a claim on behalf of the estate for the economics only, which means medical bills. Okay.
But I'm asking, under an uninsured motorist, is it only for non-economic damages, or can it be for both?
If she doesn't have an attorney, is it something you'd want to talk to about?
Okay. Tom, this is the one I told you that I spoke to yesterday, AARP, that I had called.
Okay, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and we're going to sum this up, okay, because Elaine is a personal representative in an estate of a man that died. And I want to make this clear. If that man, no matter who it is, if you have a pain and suffering claim and you die, that claim goes away. The dead cannot bring pain and suffering even through a representative. It's just not allowed. So then economic damages are there. What happens there? You can bring a suit for the estate for economic damages, though for medical bills, for different things. Right, John? For that, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, then there is a third classification if you go after it, called wrongful death. That's completely apart from pain and suffering and economic damages. It is a claim reserved for people specifically mentioned in the law. Even if you think it's not fair, then change the law. Because right now, the law says only certain people can get can get wrongful death. And who are those people?
Generally speaking, a spouse, children of, or parents.
Okay. Now, the estate does not get wrongful death. People get wrongful death. And pain and suffering goes away when he died. So, Elaine, you, as the personal representative of the estate, can bring an economic claim, if you had one, for any economic loss. Now, would an economic loss, John, be lost wages?
No, medical bills.
Medical bills.
That's it.
Okay, what are lost wages in those things?
Well, I mean, in theory, those are still economic losses, but really, because he's dead, the only thing she really still has is the ability to maybe bring a claim on behalf of the estate and just for those medical expenses that occurred. And doing so may not be a smart thing to do because there, as an example, there may be an insurance company that has a subrogation interest, or it's a fancy way of saying a right to get paid back, that they would not have the right to go after a wrongful death claimant, but they would have a right to petition for repayment from the estate.
Okay, so in recognizing a will, they are recognizing that you have a right to disperse of all of the assets of the estate, and you have a right to seek economic damages, and that's it.
But it's all the assets minus the debts in an administered estate. So that's what I'm saying is by bringing this claim, you might invite a debtor claimant into the estate that would have a right to get paid back out of those proceeds.
But Elaine, it's really simple to understand, though, that the wrongful death is not allowed for anyone but the people mentioned in the law.
But why pay for an insurance for so many decades?
Because insurance is because uninsured motorist coverage is for economic losses and for pain and suffering. By the way, John Fuller has to run, and we always tell you you can call for free information, free legal advice, 303-597-4500 when you're injured. 303-597-4500. Thank you, John. So, Elaine, I know what you're saying. Why did he bother having paid uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage? Because it does cover what we just said. It covers pain and suffering if he was alive, and it covers also economic damages. So you can go after economic damages. You keep saying, why have insurance? Go after the economic damages. You can't go after pain and suffering because that dies with the person.
Were they common law married? She never let us know that.
No,
okay.
It shouldn't really matter.
And John, just last thing, John said, be careful about going after the economic damages because you could be bringing other people in that might take more than what you'd get.
All right, so
I won't do that.
But the insurance is good for something. And again, we all have things in our mind the way things should be. Like, for example, pain and suffering. They die with the person. So if you have a great pain and suffering claim, it's gone when you die. It's gone. The only thing that your estate can seek is an economic damage. And only very specific people can do the other claim of wrongful death. Now, Blake Harris, law.com, he is an estate planning attorney and has issues. So we want to talk about Rona's situation. The problem is we're running out of time. And Blake, I'm going to ask if you can please hold, but Rona is on SSI and SSDI and got $72,000. And she needs some advice. So if you can hang on, we have more coming up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, there's a crash on southbound I-25 at the Thornton Parkway. That stretch slow from 136th. A serious accident on northbound Pena approaching Tower from this morning has been cleared, but now it looks like they're doing some road repairs through there, so still sluggish heading into DIA from 56th. Street sweepers slowing things down on westbound C470 near Ken Carroll, and the lights are flashing red and backing things up on Highway 287 at South Boulder Road. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy and hot this afternoon. Will cool off to the mid-60s overnight tonight. It's 100 right now in Denver. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Janine LaRose, 630 KHAL.
Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. It's amazing because Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report limitations apply.
Sheridan Auto Tech. Uncle Kevin Calkin is the owner, and I call him Uncle because he's big and friendly, and he reminds me of an uncle I had. And you know what else? He has thousands of satisfied customers. The important thing I want you to know about Sheridan Auto Tech, 2 locations. Just go to the website to find out. You know, if they're convenient. And here's the other thing. He has been in business, and we have never, I don't think we've ever gotten a complaint. Sheridan Auto Tech, he also does electrical repairs as well, which is really important, plus regular maintenance and repair. SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242. 303-455-7242.
I cannot stop harping on these guys at 888 Heating. They're great guys. When I say harping, I mean it in a very good way. The deals they're given right now are incredible. Just call around. Ask other people. You can get a new air conditioner, a new furnace, a whole home humidifier in 5 years, no interest, all starting at $8,500. It depends on the size of your house. But, folks, they've got great pricing. They sell the good stuff. You know, you got to check these guys out. They've been on our referral list for over 10 years. When you need a good service company, write this number down. It's easy, 888 Heating. But check out their website. Go there now, 888heating.com.
Do roller coasters suck much?
Hey, remember the one complaint we had on Sheridan? Remember the guy dressed up in a cow suit?
Oh, and he would hang out. He looked like the cow
and
from...
it was because he was an asshole onto him, and Jeff said, okay, I'm not going to do it.
He looked like the cow from Chick-fil-A.
Yes. It was so funny. I called that Steve.
What's going on, Suze?
Nothing, I was just logging out. Yes, Daniel.
Oh, she'll be in tomorrow.
Miss Dolce?
Yeah, I told her, I said, look, you know,
Suze needs you.
This is a job. No, this is a job, and you know, it's not cool that your mom says, well, I need you for 2 days. I said, I want her to learn responsibility.
For over 30 years, and she's a really nice guy.
Maybe tomorrow
With the
sometime you
right
see her.
representation, you
Don't
can
you?
feel good about
Really?
with Bell and Pollock.
When it
Call
comes to
them
work,
303-795-5900.
Oh, okay.
She wanted you to tell me.
5900.
Champions of
I think you're going to be late, or if you're not going to be here, I need to know.
Okay.
Then she feels like, I don't want her to think she's just doing busy.
Because, yeah.
That's the last thing in the world. That's why I want to pair with a corporate check and all that. And just make sure that she knows.
Okay. Okay, but you'll deal with the mom side of it, right? I don't want to step on those toes.
No, you two.
Oh, no. I just mean that Doja has to talk to you directly. She can't talk to me.
I didn't realize that's how it went down. I just
Well,
assumed.
it wasn't a big deal, but Mom asked her to do some shit for a few days.
Okay. So what did that guy say?
So it's kind of a crazy thing. It's
We've never got a complaint on them.
no, I know it.
Who's that?
Like enough.
So they put in a gas water heater because the old water heater, although it was working, his little caps were melting on top, which I guess is a bad deal. I'll show you a picture.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're right.
What was, should I put that on Show Me Trouble, or?
No.
We
Oh.
This is a,
So what happened? Oh yeah, the plastic.
yeah, so they said, so they have replaced 4 different water heaters, and they've all been this, gas water heaters.
Wait a minute. What is this plastic?
That's just a little plastic thing around that, and so the heat. So
You know what that plastic thing is? It's fucking wrapping.
Probably.
It's that real fine fucking wrapping you saw.
So because of there's the exhaust. Because the exhaust is that hot.
And there's nothing wrong with it being. What are they complaining about to begin with?
No, so Light Up replaced the water heater because of that.
Because of what?
Because of that melting there.
Oh, bullshit.
4 times.
Free? They're full of shit.
And now they're saying no more.
They're stupid. They never had to replace this fucking.
I wouldn't have thought so.
But
It's a complaint on Lighten Up.
I will fucking guarantee that this is the covering of this washer.
Yeah, probably. I thought, when he said the plastic, that's why I haven't sent the picture. I thought it was a little thing covering the anode rod.
When they punch these out, they put, let me tell you, they put
I can look
a
at
sheet of
mine.
plastic, right? A sheet of the hard plastic to make the material. Then they put a film of silicone or whatever that is. Then another sheet of plastic. And then when they mold it, they break them out. And then they pull them out, and they're separate pieces separated by that. I'll guarantee you, when you get that fucking thing, I get it from aircraft. You peel it off, and you can almost not tell it's there.
Okay, I don't know. So apparently Excel came out to the pilot light, and he's seen in his first water heater that's melted. He says, You gotta get a new water heater.
Just
Excel said that.
oh my God!
So who replaced it
They're
four
so
times?
because they don't know what the fuck they're looking at. But there's nothing wrong with the water. It's not even part of the heater.
So now, because they even paid $400 for some extra venting. So I said, why didn't you do a higher efficiency? That'd be,
So they're saying, are they saying that
It's probably to bring it up to code.
Are they saying that the exhaust is too hot?
yeah.
Well, there's another reason for that. I'll tell you that.
What is it? What do you think?
I don't know, but it ain't a defect in the fucking water heater.
Oh, no, you're right, It's sort of the venting and stuff. And
First of all, if that's high efficiency.
No, it's not high efficiency. This is a regular.
Oh, then it would.
The venting you're talking about is probably an expansion.
Then it is going to get. No, he's talking about there.
It's the venting exhaust.
Okay. Tom Martino
here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Blake Harris is our attorney at law we go to for all kinds of estate issues. Blake, hello, sir. Thank you for being here. Rona, I'm just going to sum this up. She's very nervous. She thinks she's going to get in trouble. She's on SSI and SSDI. She's not in a nursing home or anything, but she's on those two. And I think Medicaid. And she got a $72,000 award from an accident. $72,000. And she didn't report it yet, but she will. She wants to know what's going to happen. Or better yet, is there a way to protect that money, or is it too late, not enough planning? What do you think, Blake? Because these things are needs. SSI is need-based, so is Medicaid. But by the way, Medicaid does not go by, it goes by income and not by assets. So if it was converted to an asset, that's different. But right now, she's got $72,000.
Okay, I need to know, did she receive the money in the last 8 days? Was it this month or last month?
That was a year ago.
Rona, she received, are you there, Rona?
Yeah, I'm there.
She got it, the check. She actually got the check in April of 2020.
And when did she deposit it?
When did you deposit it? That's when it was deposited.
Let me tell you that. I'll tell you. I can tell you.
Okay, go.
I had access to it in July of 2020.
Why?
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so it was awarded, but they actually deposited the check in July.
Well, I deposited it, and the reason I got scary because we were having renovations going on over here, and I thought, you're going to lose this thing, and you'll fight like hell to get it back from the insurance. So I thought, you got to do something with it.
Okay, so Rona, Rona, without a long story, you held that check for 2 months before depositing it.
Yeah, approximately, I give it.
Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead, Blake.
Okay, so you might be in a little bit of hot water, just to give it to you straight. I would contact a Medicaid attorney as soon as possible.
Okay, but how? What kind of hot water? What do you mean? She's afraid she's going to be arrested and all of that. That's not going to happen.
If you are the one who comes forward and you don't wait to get caught.
I did. We don't need to answer that anymore. Nobody knows anything about this. What I'm telling you, I finally decided you got no excuses no more. All these things are opening up. I got the covert virus going. The construction is done over here.
Look, hey, Rona, every time we say one little thing, you wind up the whole movie. Yeah. Just help us out here. Okay. You don't have to tell us anything anymore unless we ask about it specifically. And Rona, I'm only saying this because we really want to help you. What Blake is saying is you were required to report it. You didn't. So there will be consequences. That doesn't mean they're going to call you a thief or a criminal. They will work it out. Now, go ahead, Blake. Okay. What do you think? Go ahead.
I mean, your Medicaid has income or an asset test, and you're generally not supposed to have more than $2,000. And you have until the end of the month to spend it, which is why I was asking when you got the money. If you got it this month, you could spend through it. But it's been over a year. You should have reported that to Medicaid and probably been kicked off Medicaid. In which case, you may owe Medicaid some money. Contact the Medicaid attorney.
What do you mean? Blake? What do you mean a Medicaid attorney? What is a Medicaid attorney?
There are attorneys who focus on helping people qualify for Medicaid, qualify for Social Security.
Okay. Do you have a reference for her?
Yes. I would say Rose Zapor, Rosezapor. She used to work with my law firm. She's not with my law firm anymore, but Rose is excellent.
Hey, hey, is it possible? Hold on a second. I want to get Rose on if we can. And Rona, we want to help you. And here's what I think is going to happen. There will be some money you have to pay back, and there will be some backdating of money. And that's it, I think. They didn't pay out anything in Medicaid. So once they backdate it, you may get taken off the benefit for a while. And then the SSDI, I don't know if that'll be affected. But Blake, is there a way?
That's a good question for us. It is.
Blake?
I believe since I've been on it since 1993, it sounds permanent, and it also sounds like I was told this by the attorney that helped me with that case. He said you could win the lotto tomorrow and you could still stay on SSDI.
Okay,
so
that's right.
He told me right.
Yeah. So Rona, hold on. Hey Blake, are there ways at all to protect money when you are dealing with the government?
I mean, yes is the answer. You could have also set up a self-settled special needs trust when you got the money, but again, you need to do that in the same month that you received the money.
But I'm doing this for people listening. If there are people on benefits and they're going to get an award of some kind, what do? They come and see you, or they call you.
As soon as you know that reward is coming, you need to contact an attorney that does Medicaid planning or special needs trust with Medicaid.
And you can do those, right?
There are certain types of Medicaid trusts that we will do, but there's certain types of Medicaid trusts that my firm does not handle. If you're already on social, if you're setting something up for a child or a grandchild who's disabled, we can do that. If you have more than 5 years before you move into a nursing home, we can do that. The self-settled ones, which Rona would have benefited from a year ago, my firm does not typically handle.
And the self-settled ones are for urgent cases where it comes upon you and you didn't have time to plan.
It comes upon, well, it's typically you're receiving an inheritance or a settlement from a loss from a car accident.
Right. And so those can be done pretty quickly, but they have to be done in a very special way.
They have to be done. They have to be done very quickly. And if you know the money's coming, that's when you want to hire the attorney so you can have the trust set up so that you can put those funds into the trust as soon as you receive that money.
Blake, in a real basic way, and I understand you don't do it, but what do they do in that trust? How does that trust protect? If she did everything right with the right attorney, would she get to keep the $70,000 or a big chunk of it? And I know I'm not even really asking about her, but in general.
So the way that the trust works, as far as I understand,
the self-settled ones, yes.
Is that you can self-settle the trust, you can keep the funds, but the beneficiary of that trust after you pass away has to be Medicaid, or Medicaid has to be paid back when you pass away.
Okay.
So it does give you ability to keep a lot of the funds.
And you can use the funds.
And you can use the funds for anything that Medicaid is not going to pay for.
All right. Thank you, by the way. We really appreciate it all the time. Of course, 833-ASK-BLAKE for any estate planning questions. Free consultations, 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Swamp coolers, Mark? The bee.
Yeah.
The bee used to.
Well, I know they did.
Who's asking?
Just someone through a referral list. But I'm searching everybody, man. No one does them anymore.
Yeah. There's no money on them.
Well, not just that. There's too much problems. Well, you're right. There's well, actually, I'll take it back. You're never right.
Hey, I'm going to set you up for Rona.
I swear one of them. I swear I saw it on one of them.
Come on.
Where the fuck did it go? Where did my fucking...
Shift hiring gears with Indeed. They go beyond the resume with 135 skills tests that help candidates show...
They have actually a little portable...
or customer service. See 7% on average. Visit Indeed.com/...
No. All right, let's talk about your floor coverings, because floor coverings are very, very important. And if you need floor coverings, you can buy them anywhere, let's face it. But the important thing is not that you can buy them anywhere. The important thing really is that you get the right price, the right people, the right installers, and all of that is simple. SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's really simple. SimplyFloorsInc.com. You know, I talk about waterpros.net because I love them. I absolutely think that they are the best when it comes to supplying you with honesty about your water, the best systems at the lowest prices, and that's waterpros.net. Waterpros.net. Also, we mentioned Sentry RV. And people wanted to know about used units. Mark, you've been there. They have plenty of used RVs, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And they have everything from pop-ups to Class A's. And, of course, they have brand new units. You can get brand new trailers for around 10 grand. Can you believe that?
And if you're looking to upgrade and get something bigger or just a change in something, they'll give you a great amount of money for your trade-in.
And that's SentryRV.com, 303-453-1111.
Season 2 of the hit podcast, Paper Ghosts.
Yeah, they do.
I just did because I had Blake on and I
So calm down.
But you don't hear right. Okay. 1981. A massive fire engulfs a farmhouse in America's heartland. 4 members of a wealthy Ohio family are dead. But wasn't the fire that killed them?
My brother said, Carol, something's up. They're not telling us everything. That is my fire. There is too much water.
Listen to Season 2 of Paper Ghosts on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's Michael Brown here for my friends at TNT Floorwork.
You know what's funny is Rona knew she was doing wrong, and then she finally panicked.
My mom was just like that. She was just like that. My God, it made her sick because she had to take public assistance, and she was so worried all the time. She would say that they're spying on her. She had a little mental illness, and she wanted to know where the police going to come and get her. Oh my God, it was so. Mental illness is a terrible. Well, I don't have to tell you.
You didn't get that. No, say it again.
I said, oh, mental illness is a terrible. Oh, I don't have to tell you.
Yes, because I know you. Britney Spears' mom now asks the judge. Here's what the judge is saying. You want to hear it? Go get a psych eval. If everything's cool, I'll cut you loose. Britney won't go get a psych eval.
Is that true?
Yes. She refuses to go get a psych eval. Doesn't that shoot up some red flags? Like, why wouldn't she? If she really wants out of this conservatorship, why wouldn't she?
Your fees will go up year after year after year. They misled you. It's not right, and it's not your fault. Whether you bought decades
now,
ago,
don't you find that odd?
Totally.
And then a judge heard the whole story.
You're sure, Mark, that was it?
I think that's the reason he denied it. That's everybody's reasoning behind it. She refuses to get a psych eval.
Decades of experience canceling timeshare.
I'm not saying if she gets a psych eval, they're going to let her go, but they're definitely not going to do it without a psych eval. Wouldn't you think that's a basic part of getting out of a conservatorship, though, right? That's been going on for 10, 5 years.
Oh, yeah, but she would have had to know that, though.
Or was she just...
No, she knows it. She told the judge she won't get one.
No, this is what's her name?
That doesn't make sense.
It makes you think she might be fucking Coco. Cuckoo.
Her mom said, you're talking about her mom said that she's a lot different than she was.
Then why do you think she won't get a psych eval? Why won't you get one?
Because I'm afraid.
I'd be afraid too if I were you. They probably wouldn't let you leave the room after the first question.
You're the one that went and studied for your urine test.
Studied for a urine test.
Mopping is a hassle.
That's pretty good. You're so stupid, you had to study for a urine test.
You mop around. Then cleaning the mop when you're done.
Hey, does all high efficiency water heaters have to be out the side.
Yes.
They have
All what? I won't say all.
High efficiencies have to be vented out the side.
I'm thinking
I don't
furnace.
even know why that matters.
I'm thinking furnace. Furnaces do.
I don't know why though. Why does the lateral venting matter? Why does that
For a
matter?
furnace, I know I had it.
Okay, I got it.
Why?
Because the exhaust is so cool, it won't go up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but hold on. Mine has a fan on the exhaust.
Yes.
Most of them.
Yes, they can do the fans.
You have to draw the exhaust.
Yes.
But what happens if it fails? I mean, maybe that's why it's got to be.
It has some draw to it on its own, but it's not cold, but it's certainly not as hot as it used to be. It's really cool, actually.
I wonder, could they put a fan in something like that? I don't. Well, they should know that. I don't know.
I want to talk to somebody else about that.
Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, they've been together
37 years.
They're not married.
It's like they're not even a Hollywood couple.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome. Ray, what's going on in your life, Ray?
Yeah, I got a car up there in the Royal Impound Yard, and they won't release it. So I went and the judge gave a court order to release it, and they still won't release it.
Wait a minute. What? First of all, why was it impounded?
It was in some kind of domestic violence or a crime. It was involved in the crime.
And who's holding it? Who's holding it?
My daughter was driving it.
No. Who's holding it in impound right now?
That's a Royal Police Impound Yard out here by M&M Towing.
I understand. I'm going to tell you something. Which court, when you say the court ordered it, what do you mean by that? How did they order it opened?
My attorney filed a motion to get it released, and they didn't reply to the motion.
Okay.
The judge
now, Ray, is this being held by the city of Aurora or Denver?
Aurora.
So it's not the nuisance abatement. I don't think Aurora has the same nuisance abatement, because a nuisance abatement is whenever something is used in a crime or with you at the time of a crime, it's held and they just sell it out from under you. But this particular case is curious. We may have to continue this and look into it. What do they say? Why do they say they're keeping it? Did you ask about it? You must have.
Yeah, my attorney asked him to release it, and he would never give him an answer to the assistant DA out there in Arapahoe County. So then they just sit there, and then he filed a motion, and the judge granted because they did not answer.
I get it. But after the motion was granted, what was their excuse for keeping it?
The guy who attended the impound yard out there said he had to get an okay from the detective and the DA.
Why are they screwing with you like this? I mean, does your attorney know what he's doing, you think?
Yeah, I got the best attorney in town.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, would we be able to talk to your attorney?
Yes,
All right.
You can talk to him.
All right, hold on. Let's get Ray back on first thing tomorrow and get to work on getting his car back. I hate when governments do this, Ray. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget, 303consumer.com and, of course, referralist.com for help, information, and referrals.
Okay.
No, we can't do that.
That's yours, Mark. That's yours, what?
Don't fire it off. Just don't fire it off.